What up? What up? What up?
Hola.
Birds of a Feather live.
Mi gente,
on
mi gente.
ATD Radio. Live from the Real Talk Studios, the new Real Talk Studios. The first half is brought to you by our new sponsors, which I will get to in a second. And Buck Services. Gutter cleaning. Gutter cleaning. Get your gutters cleaned, guys. Contact them at 856-879-5530 and buy ATS Sports Picks. Use promo code A2D to get 20% off. This Chuck's hosting because Chrome, as you can see, is out. He is not feeling well, under the weather. So it's us three plus Brodo. What's going on, Brodo, on the ones and
The
twos?
deepest voice in the building.
Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
The youngest one, too. And as usual, we've got our panel. What up, Pete?
What up? What it do, people? My peoples.
And the Patriots, Kevin Godwin. What's up, man?
The family
Not
run.
much.
The family run.
Good to have you on, guys. We will be talking Eagles.
Shout out to all of his fans.
Yeah, all of his
Oh,
fans.
my God.
All of his fans.
Thank you, fans. Keeping it
Yes.
real. Joining us back here on
Real.
Tuesday night.
Thank you, fan. He's speaking to Bill Middlebrook.
And Eileen.
And Eileen.
That's plural.
All of two. All of two.
Fans.
Yes.
No,
And
Eileen,
Jimmy
she's
G.
coming at you, though. She doesn't share every Patriots take that you have.
That's because I didn't wear this last week. I got to get back in good graces. That's
Oh
why I
my
wore it.
God.
Great point, Kev. Great point.
Great
Bill
point.
Are you going to
agrees.
have your, you going to get like 14 and Dalton on the back?
No.
You might have to
You
soon.
may have to.
I'm going to go up there and protest.
Or
if they
Carr.
bring him.
Or Carr.
I kind of like Carr, not Hurt. Before he got hurt, I was a fan.
Okay.
He reminds me a lot of Stafford. So
Oh, that's because that's a good
As you can
Stafford has
As you can see,
has a
Kevin's
way
been
better arm,
thinking
though.
about this a lot because he knows that him not having Brady is a real
Carr can
possibility.
run, though.
Huh?
Carr can scramble a little bit, though.
Okay, yeah, but Stafford's
Coming
arm
handy.
is special.
This is definitely something that Kevin's been thinking a lot about.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, we've got another jam-packed show for you. We'll be talking about the Eagles off-season preview. We will be going through the roster and giving our predictions or our thoughts and opinions on who should stay and who should go.
Are you
Eagles
in?
already
Are you out?
Eagles already said go to one of their veterans as they released Nigel Bradham earlier today, and we will touch upon his release and the state of the linebacking core moving forward. We will also give free agency predictions, very early free agency predictions on some of the big names. What teams will they go to? So we've already talked ad nauseum about Tom Brady, your boy. So how about the other guys? Robbie Anderson, Rashad Perryman, a bunch of other guys. And there was one that Greg Olsen signed today with the Seahawks. We will also touch upon that signing. And then we were going to talk about all or nothing, but since no one did their homework, we will not talk about that
Wow.
today.
Did we get put in
This week
detention?
again? Yes.
Might get suspended again.
See, me,
I'll
let
be
me
out
ask
again.
real quick. I don't want to relive the failure that our season was at certain points. I don't need to.
It's like a Band-Aid. Just watch the whole thing. Just quick and painless. Quick and plain.
46 minutes for 9 episodes is not quick and painless.
Chuck, you watched
one
it at 3
episode.
in the morning.
I
The
know.
day it came out.
I know I did.
You say that's normal?
Are you saying that they're all not that long?
They're somewhere longer.
You're not helping your case here.
But the finale is an hour 15.
I don't currently have Amazon Prime, so I'm not going to go out of my way to get it for that reason
You guys
specifically.
can borrow a login. I'm just saying. Anyways.
You didn't hear that pirating. You
We
didn't
do
hear
not
that.
promote that here at A2D Radio and
This not
A2D
reflective view
Live.
of
Disclaimer.
A2D as
I
a
do.
whole.
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer. But our poll question today, guys. Alshon Jeffery will be an Eagle in 2020. It's a very tough situation. I know a lot of us want him gone. And it seems like, to some people, it might seem like a foregone conclusion. But we need to really look at the situation and consider the financials. Because remember that if you cut him, that is $26 million in dead cap that'll be incurred upon the Eagles salary cap. And I don't even know, as per Adam Kaplan had said before, I don't even know if you can move him until either an injury settlement is reached or he passes the physical, which wouldn't be till October.
Yeah.
So those are some other complications that might be in the way of him moving. All in all, it's a very difficult situation for Alshon to be moved. So do you think he will be on the roster week 1 of the 2020 season? I'm going to go with Pete first. Let's start off. What do you think?
Unfortunately, yes, I think he will be here. It's that. Why, Howie? Why? I don't know what you were thinking on that fateful September day when you decided to make his extension guaranteed, or why you felt the need to do it. So I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop, because like we were just talking before, behind the scenes, before we came on, to cut him or to trade, because even if they trade him, they still have to eat some of the cap, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's like it's like 10 mil of that 26.
If they trade him, I have to look into that. I don't
But
know.
like that would have to be the trade of a lifetime. Like how, like it's at that point, it's counterintuitive to try to trade him and give up. Like it'd be similar to the Jordan Matthews trade when you got Ronald Darby. Like you're giving, or when we traded Nick Foles for Sam Bradford. Like you're giving up an asset, and you're also giving up a high value pick, like a second or a third round pick. At that point, I mean, which we did see in that first game with Washington when him and Deshaun was on the field. You still can kind of get. You got some production there, 4 touchdowns, 2 apiece. But at the same time, it's like if we were saying if Alshon was healthy, and if Alshon was healthy last year and he didn't have a season-ending surgery, at that point, is he still worth the 26 mil?
To cut?
No, to have on
have on the team. The way he was playing, I still say, if you're just taking it at face value on his talent, performance, I still say no. I think he's he's declined.
Right,
Yeah.
and so at that point, it's like it's almost like a coach or a manager in baseball that's in their last year of their contract, like Jason Garrett this year, just a lame duck. Like that's how I kind of feel like Jeffrey's going to be. But at the same time, with that being said, I mean he's going to get paid. He's going to get his $26 million, and the Eagles right now are sitting at $50 million in cap space now with the release of Nigel Bradham. So it's like if they to cut that in half, that limits you or hinders you what you can do in free agency. So
Absolutely, yeah.
I definitely think they're going to let us play out. And like you said, with the injury settlement, like October 1st, maybe that may be an option to buy him out. But that's still not going to do anything for us right now because the new year league starts when?
March 10th.
March 10th. So, I mean, by now, we got the combine next week. You got March 10th coming up. You can sign free agents, which I'm a big proponent of this. I can't stand the fact that the draft in football comes before free agency. It comes after. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I can't
It's the only sport.
I can't stand it.
Yeah.
Because
it's backwards.
It's bass backwards. See, people caught that out there if you're paying attention. So, but yeah, when you have it backwards like that, it just makes it difficult because you have, like right now, we're looking at wide receivers, and we're going to get into the free agent list of wide receivers later on in the show. Mm-hmm. But you look at that, if you're the Eagles, you have $50 million in cap space. You can kind of jump to something. You don't know how this draft board is going to play out. So, being long-winded here, he's going to be on the team, but I don't agree with it. Is that an option? Is that an option C?
Yeah. It's absolutely an option.
Option C? Okay.
Go ahead.
Kevon?
I think that he will 100% be back next
And
year.
you enjoy it too, don't you?
Well,
This
I
misery.
don't understand why Eagles fans have such a short-term memory loss when it comes to how players perform and where they perform at. It's because Alshon's not a number one. Yeah, everyone can agree with that. The past couple of years, he's not been a number one. What happened in week 1 when the Eagles did have a number one and he was in the position he should have been? 4 touchdowns. When you ask him to overperform to what his limit actually is, of course you're going to get an underachiever.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think he comes back. I think he plays well because we all know that Deshaun will be back and in his rightful spot. So playing opposite of him, I think he can play well, and I think that they are going to do well. Bringing in two more people, I believe, come in.
Mm-hmm.
Ward stays, I believe. Fill a spot. They've got JJ, obviously, who's staying.
Mm-hmm.
Look
that they drafted last year.
Yeah.
I think it's your best case scenario bringing him back because you still keep a veteran presence, knowing that hopefully, what's his name? Not Aguilar.
Deshaun?
No, I'm blanking.
Arcega Whiteside?
Brick for hands won't be back.
Aguilar.
Yeah,
Aguilar.
Aguilar.
90% of the receivers?
Yeah, he
Aguilar?
won't be back.
Brick for hands.
So
Except in the Super Bowl.
what sucks is
Unfortunately.
what sucks is if apples was the apples, if Jeffrey and Aguilar were a free agent this year, and Jeffrey's contract wasn't guaranteed, I think they would be more apt to bring back Aguilar over Jeffrey, because not just because of the ceiling and it's a younger player versus what Jeffrey's been in the league now. This is going on his 9th year.
And the type of skill set you're talking about, like,
Yeah.
he's a big wide receiver, but and Aguilar is more the dynamic guy,
Right.
I mean,
and you kind of want that speed, as
Well,
opposed
it's
to
the explosiveness of it.
yeah.
I mean, and once again, like, if JJ could take a step forward this year, and with the new offensive, with Skaggs coming in, Skag, whatever you want to call him, with Brenner, was it Brenner or Brenner? Andrew Brenner coming in from Mississippi State.
Oh, I forget. Yeah.
And then you got Press Taylor not being the passing game coordinator. You hope scheme-wise that these guys could become more effective. But with that being said, man, that I can't believe. Is it really $26 million?
26.
That's not. No, we just not throwing that number.
I'm
out.
not. I looked it up. I've written articles about it. I've
What
looked it up so many times. It's
in
it's
what
26.
world
He front loaded. He front loaded the contract.
is Alshon Jeffery worth the $26 million?
It's
cap
not.
hit?
It's not that. It's just he front loaded the contract to free up when beyond next season when Wentz's contract balloons the extension. That's
yeah, they
what he did.
shortened it, right?
He shortened it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why. And he didn't foresee
You see my face?
the drop and the
I see.
decline that had happened. And
It was a good
Now-
contract move when made.
most fans, a lot of fans. Let's backtrack. A lot of
Patriots?
fans were okay
I'm
with
talking
the
about the
signing.
structure.
Were okay with the restructure when it
Right.
happened. There were a few that were against it and didn't see the point to it. So
I'm putting a hand up for Ryan
So-
because he's okay.
no, it's fine. And I think I think it kind of just goes to show that
Right.
this whole thing is a slippery slope of signing veterans to
Yes.
certain contracts, and that's
Yes.
why this whole youth movement is important, and that's why I'm when the Eagles have come to a point in this tenure and Howie's tenure where it really is a turning point that you can't build the same way they have been for the past few years. It really has to be a youth movement.
It has to be
And the 10
yes.
the 10 projected draft picks are an account of that. Now, we criticized Howie this past season for not spending the draft picks to trade for guys like Minka or who's the other? There were 3 guys that were Ramsey and whatnot, Clowney. So we crucified him for that. But in his press conference, he made it clear that he wanted to keep the draft capital because he knew that they had to start building through the draft, not through free agency. And that's why signing these guys and like when the whole trade rumor, and I don't know if it's called rumor, like the hypothetical scenario of trading for Darius Slay came up. It's not that I believe in Sidney Jones as much as I'm wary of giving a 29-year-old corner huge money. Huge money.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It goes for a lot of other people, a lot of other players and free agency and whether you want to trade for them. Not to circle back, when it comes to the poll question, I do agree that he is going to be here. I think that is definitely the most likely scenario. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that he will be moved. I think if there's one GM in the league that can find a way to do it, I think it is Howie. But the cards are against him.
To trade him?
To find a way to move him. Trade him, release him, something. If there's a way to do it,
on 34th Street,
it would be. And that's what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. So I don't think that, we should just be, set in the fact that, okay, he's definitely going to be here. Because as I was saying also before the show, Jimmy Kempski keeps reiterating that he's insisting that the organization knows it was Jeffrey that was
with
the leak.
Yeah.
All right, so if they know that he was the leak, that makes it 2 years in a row where he was critical of the QB, and if they really just do not want that, I mean, would we really be surprised if they decide to just eat the 26 for 1 year? They have cap space. The only thing it prohibits you to do is be aggressive in free agency, but you have the cap space to eat it, be at 26, 24 mil, and then, or roughly around there, and then just be conservative in free agency and both in the draft. Now, does that approach put you in the best position to win next season? Maybe not. I'm just going through. I'm addressing all the avenues. I'm just addressing and putting on the table with the scenarios of what will happen if they do decide to cut Alshon. But I think that when it comes to Alshon, he's declined. He's not the guy he was 2 years ago. We all agree to that.
I can't get over New Orleans.
Yeah, and I
can't get over that drop.
I think that he's still a quality player. Like, I don't want to say he sucks. Like, he doesn't suck. He is a quality player. If he has Deshaun outside, opposite him, other side of the field, stretching the field and creating space for him, he has a role, and he can still be a quality player in this offense. And I don't think it would be necessarily a bad thing performance-wise if he is on the roster and is still one of the starters. I don't want to put that out there that he sucks. I really don't. But I think if it were up to me, I would try my best to move him. And if it ends up that I can't, then obviously you just go forward. And I think you make the most out of the situation, which I don't think it would be a horrible situation. But if I'm Howie, I'm definitely considering. I'm looking into doing what I can to get him out of Philly. That's just my personal opinion.
So I think if they really wanted him out and they really wanted to unload the cap, they could do it. The biggest possibility is selling him for a pick. Is where you load him and a pick to a team, and the team, whoever goes to, eats his cap hit for you and pays that contract off. Because we've
Bills?
seen.
No.
I was thinking the Bills as a trade partner.
No. That ain't going to happen.
I'll give you a second in Jeffrey.
No. Well, here's the thing is that the Patriots will make that second into like 5/5 and 3 Hall of Famers.
I just don't want him here.
The Colts have a lot of cap space.
So So right now it's currently constructed, and we because how fast the sports moves, and yes, it's not feasible for them to eat the cap hit, but they sit at 50 now. They've already made one semi-tough decision in releasing Nigel Bradham or parting ways. That freed up 4.5. There's other players on this team
that will be cut.
To free up more money. So if we can get to, say, 60, 65 million,
they could.
How we could do magic with $30 million.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Right.
You just have to be a little bit more frugal than expected with your money.
I wish he would have had that mindset back in September to be frugal.
Tell me about it. But I think like it's not impossible either way. Is my point.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it's if we end up cutting Alshon, a good offseason is still possible. You could still maybe sign one of the bigger names, and then sign a bunch of low-key guys. Like, it really just depends. But I think that it's just how he's definitely going to have his hands full this offseason. And what they decide to do with Alshon is going to be one of the biggest dominoes that falls. Because whether it goes one way or the other, it's going to have a huge impact in their approach going forward. Let's go to the chat. So I know Brodo on the ones and twos says the chats are flying. So let's see what the people are saying.
They're excited in here. I'm going to start with Facebook as usual. So at the beginning, Bill Middlebrook. What's up, Bill? He says, I heard
Kevin's
that.
Kevin,
I didn't realize I was your fan. He didn't realize it, Kevin.
Ooh.
So maybe he's not your fan. Maybe it's a facade.
You might want to keep reading there.
No, he loves it. He's
No.
He's playing into it. He knows he loves me.
Frank Vespi.
Best friends.
Frank Vespi says, hey, yo, sorry to bother you at work. Where's Chrome? Anyways, to answer the poll, with the recent release of Nigel Bradham, I think it's the beginning of a domino effect with releases. However, with Alshon's cap hit, it's going to be tough to let go of him. I think he stays for now. Tom Arnone says he's absolutely back. Eileen Pompey says, good evening, guys. Hello, Eileen.
Hello, Eileen.
Jeff Lohmeyer says, some messed up feeling in my stomach is telling me he'll be back. Anthony Adis says, hello, guys.
$26 million.
Yes.
Yeah.
26 million bad feelings in the stomach. Eileen says, I'm glad Kevin is repping the Pats Nation today.
See?
There
Told
you
you
go.
guys, people know.
There's one.
There's the other
There's
one.
There's the other
Got him. They're all
one.
here.
His
His faithful are very devoted. They're always
It's
here.
this one
This
and
is
this
it.
one.
Yeah.
And then this one and this one and then this one and this one.
Gang's all here.
Eileen says, I disagree with the poll. I think he should be gone.
Eileen, do you want him in New England?
Yeah, Eileen, listen.
You can have them.
Let us know if you're interested.
No.
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 Bill says, agree. Cap hit too big. Who would you want? Who would want him hurt, and what can they do? Just cut him? Of course he'll be here. Let's see. Tom Arnone says 4 touchdowns week 1 between him and Deshaun Jackson. He says, I still think he can play. Greg Malakvik says, what's up, fellas? Agree to the poll. The cap hit alone will keep him here. Do I want him? Hell no, but it's a business decision. Eileen asking if the draft is in April. That is correct, Eileen. At the ends.
End of April.
Anthony Adis says Alshon will be traded for a high 4th rounder or 5th round pick.
We're getting that back?
No.
How? Okay.
Wherever you
Listen,
see that
okay.
at,
All will be forgiven with Howie if he manages to
I
do
will
that.
drive Alshon to wherever that is.
You could pick swap with him, a player and an early round for a lesser player, non-position in a late round.
We trade Alshon hypothetically for Alshon in the 3rd, and we get back at 5th.
Yeah. But it would be for a player in there too, probably.
I don't need a player.
Cap.
I don't want a player. That's when I'm going.
Addition
I'm
by
so, like
subtraction.
I feel bad because, like as you said, short term memory. Like 2017, like we won the Super Bowl and he had a torn rotator cuff. So does that? It shows you a guy who's willing to play through pain when the team is going good.
Mm-hmm.
But when we're not hitting, let me. Hey, yo, Josina, you ready?
Well, here's the thing is, if you have guys like Nelson Aguilar also not playing out to the potential and pulling his arm back on catches, are you going to throw your body on the line if you know your teammate's not?
Yeah.
No.
I'm getting paid more.
Yeah.
My game check
Because
is
what
bigger.
my teammate does
Control
doesn't
what you can control, Kevin.
what I do.
I mean, that's true for guys that don't have egos. But if you're saying, oh, I'm not going to throw my body out on the line, well, after I already did that last year, I'm not going to do it again this year.
But you asked if you said you as in us, so you're
if you're him,
if we're Alshon,
yeah.
I don't know. I'm
I
not
wouldn't
Alshon.
snitch if I was Alshon.
You're getting paid
Yeah.
either way. You're getting paid either way if you
So-
throw your body out there or not.
I mean, like if he's to your point, I see what you're saying. To your point, though, he did put his body on the line in 2017, playing all year. But then, if what you're saying is true, what has changed? That's the big question.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the big question,
Other
yeah.
guys were as well. Like the whole team was in it and in solidarity, throwing their bodies out there. But when you look at the team this year,
Or maybe,
and we know that wasn't there.
or I mean, is that the reason, or is something else the reason? Like, is he pointing to people that he believes isn't like? Okay, I'm not even gonna dance around it. Is he pointing the finger at Carson Wentz and saying he's the reason? He's at fault.
Could it
like-
just be an example of he
Yeah.
won a championship, he got his guaranteed money, he mentally checked out? Could it just be as simple as that?
Possibly.
I mean, that happens that happens all over sports. Once you
Yeah.
win your titles, once you get your money, those are the two things you chase. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. I'm just saying.
And my
like, that-
biggest thing
the
is
timing's interesting.
one of my biggest pet peeves with Alshon is not even so much what's on the field; it's off the field too. It's he said it wasn't him, but when has he ever publicly came out and defended Carson?
He also didn't go to that open practice or the practice
The practice-
where Carson invited
yeah.
everyone down to Texas. He was the only one that didn't show up.
In
Bought a plane ticket and show up. Like I said, I don't want. I hope Alshon's not. Like I'm 50-50 on it, honestly,
Right.
because
Yeah.
if he was gone, am I going to be sad? No,
Yeah.
because the last couple years he hasn't been the same since 2017.
Yeah.
But I'm not like pushing. Oh, get rid of him, get rid of him, get rid of him. I understand if you would. I completely
Yeah.
understand
Yeah.
that. But to me, it's that the optics don't go in
Yeah,
his
the perception
favor.
and
It
shit.
Yeah.
doesn't go in his favor to where he had the contact with Josina.
Right.
2 back-to-back years. There's something that's being said.
As I said, like repeatedly when it comes to the Alshon thing, no one as of right now, there's not one person outside of Alshon Jeffery and Josina Anderson that knows for sure that it was Alshon. Like no one, it's all speculation. Like we will never know for sure unless more news comes out. However,
if he gets
it's
cut,
very
we know.
difficult.
We know the answer if
It's
he gets
very difficult not to speculate that it was him. Like it's very difficult because it just there are things that just it trends in that way.
There's nobody else it can be. That's the problem.
Yeah,
Or at
people.
least there's
I know
nobody
people,
else that
people
fits.
want to point the finger at Aguilar and say, "Oh no, he wasn't playing well, so he wants to point the finger at someone else."
Why he
I
hasn't
don't
gotten
think,
paid yet?
I don't think for one, he hasn't gotten paid yet, and two, and what part of Aguilar's tenure in Philly, off the field, has he shown to be that type of person?
And
Right.
two,
Like-
Josina Anderson's not going at. No disrespect, Josina's not going to Nelson Aguilar for a quote. He's not.
Yeah.
He's not
Yeah.
there yet.
He's
you
not.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's not there, and like I just don't see. I don't see how. To me, if people are pointing the finger at Aguilar, being like, "No, it's him. It's not Alshon. It's him." It's me. It's. I think it's them, just looking for an easy way to blame him for not playing well.
Yeah.
And I think the two are two. You have to detach the
Two
two
separate,
because
yeah.
it's regardless of how he played, that doesn't speak to his character. If you watched All or Nothing, you'll see that Aguilar is one of the stand-up guys. Like he's not. I'm not taking a shot at you for you not watching. I'm just saying like in the show you even see that Aguilar since day one and even last season, he's one of the stand-up guys. He's one of the high character guys. People speak volumes about how he is as
Well,
a
he's
person.
from South
What's
Carolina, so I mean,
yeah.
that's
So
generally-
like, what in his history is going to show that he wants to be an anonymous source to a reporter criticizing his quarterback? Like that's
How old is Alshon now?
late 20s.
29, I want to say.
Nah,
28,
he's got
29?
more. I think he's older than that, bro.
Has he reached 30 yet?
I think he's like
You
30,
looking
30,
it up?
Yep. Alshon.
31, 30, maybe 32. He's been in the league 8 years.
30.
30?
Yep. He just turned 30 on
So,
February 14th. So he just
this
turned
is-
30.
He just turned 30.
Yeah.
And the
So I was kind of right.
yeah, you were kind of right. My underlying problem with all this is take a look around the league. If we bring Alshon back, which most likely they will, you name me a team that has a combined age of starting wide receivers that's older than the Eagles.
This year, I'm not sure who.
Don't
Outside of this year, there's been a couple that have played and done well with the aging receiving cores.
not cores. I don't need something. I'm not talking about somebody that's the help. I'm talking somebody who has to carry the weight.
So like the top
The
handful.
top two,
Top two.
where your one and your two is averaging 30 plus. Because Deshaun's
Seattle?
33.
No, it's not even Seattle anymore.
No,
It
because
DK.
because
Yeah,
it's
it was.
DK
Yeah.
and Lockett.
Yeah.
Mhm. Nothing comes to mind. I mean, I was gonna say Arizona, but that's only just one guy.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
only
Yeah,
one
everyone.
guy.
No one
That's-
has two. Everyone's got
yeah,
one.
It's not the Pats anymore.
That's a good
we
point.
only have Edelman.
That's a very good point, and that's why you have to draft a wide receiver early.
That's why I sit here and do this, folks.
Not round one. I'm not saying. Let's be clear. I'm not saying you have to draft a wide receiver round
Right.
one. There's a lot of talent, but it has to be either round 1 or 2 or 3.
well, who do you
have to
fill
do
it out with then?
What do you mean?
With
So
Alshon?
you got Alshon and Djax.
Yeah.
Who else?
So
do you
Ward's
bring
your
in?
slot.
Let me-
We're just
watch this real quick. Djax is more cuttable than Alshon. Think about that.
Well, yeah, he's not getting paid as much, but I think his
His
what you
impact
can
is
get
bigger than Alshon.
exactly. That's why I don't think they're going
But
to.
I'm just saying, if they get to that point where it comes to financially, like, okay, we can make this move, but somebody has to go.
I have a question. I'm going to read
I
the
don't think
chat.
it'll be Djax.
I
ahead.
have a question for you guys,
Go ahead,
and
go ahead,
I
go
think it's tough. I don't know what you were talking about at the time, Kev, but he says, "Yes, preach, Kev, coming from your only fan." I don't know what he was saying.
Oh, when I said
Is that Bill?
Yes, it's
Djax
Oh,
plays.
Bill,
Djax
you
will
got
play
another
along well.
one. You've got Eileen
But they did.
too.
I'm not.
Bill, you got
discounting it.
Eileen. You're not alone. Don't worry about it.
I'm not discounting the fact that him,
Yeah,
Alshon, and
he's
Djax
talking about
together.
Alshon not being the number one and playing well.
He's
when
never been.
he doesn't have the
He's
responsibility.
never been a number one.
No.
Jeff Lohmeyer has his projected, or at least what he wants the receivers to look like next year.
Okay.
Alshon, Deshaun, Ward, and draft Ruggs.
Alshon, Deshaun, Ward, and draft Ruggs. If he falls, absolutely. I would love Henry Ruggs.
The only problem is Arcega-Whiteside's just in the way.
I don't
Is he-
think
but
so.
is he
I don't
though?
think so.
Like he's
I
not
don't think he's
that.
in the way.
For
He
all the
doesn't.
Ward people, he is.
He's not that far gone talent wise. It just the offense was lacking.
And he's
you
only
have
in-
to wait and see.
He's
what
only
you're gonna have.
he's only in the second year. He's
Yeah.
not someone that's like after this season. He's not someone that's going to demand playing time. He's going to get what he's going to
Better
get.
not.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like he knows that he's going to have to earn every bit of playing time that comes his way. So if there are guys in front of him and he has to just develop and learn and just wait his turn, he's going to do that. Bless you.
Yeah.
He's going to do that. So I don't think Jay Jaw's in the way. It's just more of just like he's there and let him develop.
Here you go. Bill, are you playing Madden, Bill? He says
He's on career mode.
he says Alshon, Deshaun, Ward, Ruggs, and then just bring in Mike Evans. Just bring him in. So like okay. I guess we're just paying is Alshon our fifth wide receiver? Just bring in Mike Evans.
Bring him in like
Sanders or another vet. Or no, I'm sorry. Bring in Emmanuel Sanders or Evans.
yeah. He's definitely playing.
Just bring him in.
Madden GM mode.
Just bring him in.
Go ahead.
So you got Djax, Alshon, Ward, JJ,
Ruggs.
question mark whoever's drafted,
He wants Ruggs.
And then a signing, free agent signing.
Robbie Anderson.
No.
no.
Too
To
much.
me, it's either you either have Anderson or Deshaun. You don't have both.
To me, it's either you have Alshon or Robbie.
True.
If Alshon goes, if you are getting to that point where you're getting rid of Alshon, you need someone on the outside, a veteran who can start right away, and that's Robbie. And if it goes to show, if the Chiefs have shown anything, you cannot have enough speed on the outside. They already have size in Goddard and Ertz, so they don't need
somebody
another
operating in between the
big,
hashes.
yeah,
I'll
they
tell
don't
you-
need a big guy.
You're absolutely right. I'm telling you what they're going to do, though.
What are they
It
going to do?
scares me to death. I was
What?
screaming about it before the show. If they got rid of Alshon, their replacement for him is Demarcus Robinson.
No.
I don't
I'm
think
out.
so.
And that's
I'm out.
hideous.
I
That's
think
hideous.
if
I'm
we signed DeMarcus Robinson, he would only be like a depth guy. I don't think he's going to be anything. Now, I will say that I will say that some low key guys that I brought up and I mentioned it, I wrote about it in my article this past week. Is I like Keelan Cole, I like Kendrick
Yeah.
Bourne, I like Demir Bird, and I like the guy from Tennessee, Tajay Sharp.
Yeah.
Talking about low key guys that could be like your third options at wide receiver, but have playing time. Have even all like the three of them, except for not Bird, but the three of them have experience as a starter at some point.
Yeah.
And then Bird has an unbelievable speed, unbelievable so he'll be your deep threat. So I think those four are. I mean, and there are other guys, but those four, if you're talking about low key guys in free agency that could be solid and fill a certain role in the offense, if you're looking for veteran presence, they jumped out on the page to me. I like
Keelan
especially
Cole.
Bourne. I like Bourne what he did in San Fran.
Bourne and Cole. The best value to free agent wide receivers to me is Rashard Perriman. It's hands down.
Do you think he would get still a hefty payday though?
No.
I like
No,
Perriman too.
I don't think the market for him is going to be that crazy. That's why I said when I'm looking at the value, and we already seen enough. Like you said, you spoke a deep threat. You said it was a singular thing. We've seen with Kansas City. You kind of spoke about
Multiple, yeah.
I need multiple.
Yeah, I absolutely do.
I got Ginger Jesus back there that wants to throw it 70 yards in the air. Go ahead, Carson.
Yeah.
I think they go the opposite route. I think I throw Roddy out there as obviously being
Robbie's somebody's going to overpay for Robbie. That's the problem.
because that's another deep threat out there. But I think they go the opposite end and speed up the offense, having the weapons out the backfield to worry about and having the two tight ends. I look at a team like the Patriots when they had Moss, Edelman or Welker, two tight ends, okay, and then fill in the blank receiver. I think the Eagles are going to look a lot like that when you got Djax on the outside, two tight ends over the middle, and then you bring Chris Hogan.
No, I don't want Chris Hogan. I don't
When-
want Chris Hogan.
Listen,
If
I wouldn't want
if you have
to.
to,
I wouldn't want Chris
you
Hogan.
can't talk to us about wide receivers when the team that you represent has a worse wide receiver core than us.
I think I just threw up in my mouth.
I
when he just
wouldn't
said
want
that
right
name.
now,
No,
right now,
I'm good on
yes.
Chris Hogan.
Thank you. I'm glad.
To
Did
your-
you say Chris Hogan? I forgot that guy
Oh, God,
existed.
I know, right?
Is he out playing
was he
lacrosse
last year?
somewhere?
Yeah.
Where was he
Um,
last year?
Go
I
ahead.
have no clue.
Carolina.
I have no
Was he?
clue. Who knows?
Okay.
To your Perriman point, what worries me is that it's the potential. It's the fact that
It's
it's
always
not
a
that
potential with
it's
him,
always a
though.
potential, but like people are like owners are going to see the last 4 or 5 games he played.
Right.
They're going to look at the fact that he was a first round pick
Yep.
that was raw and needed time.
Yep.
And so they're going to be like, these are the reasons why we can justify outbidding everyone and giving him a hefty payday. Look, and prime reason, because I use this as a prime example because it happened only, 2 years ago, is Paul Richardson.
Yeah.
You're talking about a guy from
Oh,
Seattle
yeah.
who had flashes, and everyone's like, potential, oh my God, Washington overpaid, and look where he's at
No,
now.
I'm not saying I don't want to overpay for Perriman, but I'm just saying if it's something where they can get him for like say
10.
I would say 315, like 3 for 15 or 3 for 18, and you're not asking him to come in here and be the guy. Just like
You're just asking him to.
right,
yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah.
he was in Tampa Bay. You had Mike Evans go down, Chris
Yeah.
Godwin stepped up. Chris Godwin went down, then
Yeah,
Perriman
he's-
stepped
yeah.
which is
Well,
more of a credit. Now I'm going somewhere. This is more of a credit to Bruce Arians' system. Hence why I think Tom Brady should look at Tampa Bay because
Yeah.
it's instant offense built into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hear. No, and
My biggest
look,
thing.
I mean, let me just real quick with the Perriman thing. I would like Chris Perriman, Rashad Perriman. I do want him as a target.
Right.
You know, him and in terms of like the bigger names, it's him and Robbie Anderson that appeal to me. No one else. But it just worries me because I think that he could end up getting a big payday that is similar to what Robbie Anderson's going to command. I'm just worried about that. That's my point. But he is someone I would absolutely look at. He intrigues me.
Well, that's my biggest thing. That's why I throw out a name like Chris Hogan, because it's a middle of the line. It works with what the Eagles are already doing with running. Not that much speed out top anyway, and there's not that many
So far, what
speedy
you've
guys.
seen before.
Right. There's not that many speedy guys out there right now. There's a lot of middle of the pack type
Right.
of receivers, lower end 2s and 3s, to where you just drafted JJ and you're looking at drafting another one. Are you going to go out and have a third guy that you're trying to develop
Yes.
into number one?
Yes.
Because you know why?
Yes.
They don't fucking have a number one. That's the problem.
Well,
Yeah.
Therein
You
lies the
need
problem.
to
But here's-
draft
but
high.
here's the
Keep
thing.
trying. How we kept throwing these darts at this board that we have here. Yes, people, we have fun off screen. As we keep throwing these darts at the board, that's what the Eagles need to do. It's a wide receiver.
That's what they should do, right? But
Right.
that's not what they're doing, because you see.
You're
go-
making me worry. Ken.
Well,
you
what
go
they-
out. You go out and get guys like JJ. You can't put him in an offense last year. You're
That's true.
expected to draft another guy. How's he going to work? And then you want somebody coming off of a rookie contract, a third, fourth year guy, and you want to put him on top of basically 2 rookies because JJ barely played.
Yeah.
You're going to mix
I hear-
him.
That's
into
No,
why I
I
think
hear
that
what you're
DeMarcus
saying.
Robinson is going to get
That's
legs
why I
because
said
I think
if-
they can
if
get
you
him
go
cheap
out and
or
get a-
Keelan Cole.
If
Yeah.
you go get a quiet guy, a Chris Hogan that is very, very Edelman-like, who played, obviously
Dance
he
on
didn't.
top of cars and stuff.
I mean, he didn't. I mean, that looked like a fun time.
PDs.
All I'm
I'm saying
saying.
it wasn't sometimes he's just breaking the law.
But you go out and get a guy like Chris Hogan, who is like an Edelman, who's underneath. You know what you're getting. Then that allows you to put your time and effort into JJ and the rookie you draft, because one spot's already down. You know what I mean?
At that point, why don't you just go back and re-sign Jordan Matthews for the 5th time?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but
You know what I
That's because he
mean?
got
I
his
think
ring.
I think
Oh,
what
wait.
you're I think to the point you're making is if you're going to go after that guy, I prefer the other 4 that I mentioned over Chris Hogan. They're going to be around the same tier
Same
of
price.
financially same price. Those other 4 are better than Chris Hogan.
And Chris
I just
Hogan
think
may
that they're
actually
going to
be
go
more
out and
expensive.
get paid, though. I think Tajay Sharp, I think Perryman, I
I'm
think they're
not-
all going to go
I
to
don't
a team.
think
I'm
so.
not big on Top.
I-
It's Top G's more of a bigger body receiver, right?
He's
Very
Tajay
similar.
Sharp, Keelan Cole, and Kendrick Bourne are all, I think, are around 6'1". They're all more of like
Bird is
refined
smaller.
route runners. What?
Bird.
Bird is the smaller one.
But he's not as refined route runner.
No, he's just a deep threat. You literally just go. If you look at his catches, they're all deep, deep catches.
okay.
They just tell him to go in Arizona. But I think like Cole, I picked them because Cole, Bourne, and Tajay are all like intermediate level of the field guys, route runners who win with technicality. Other than, I mean, they're not like slouches like Alshon athletically, but they're not standouts. They're good athletes.
Right.
So they're decent athletes that can get by, but they're savvy route runners, and I think that's you're talking about. In the intermediate levels of the field
Right.
are what Carson likes to attack, intermediate and deep. That's exactly the type of compliment you want. If you have D-Jax going over the top, you want a guy over the middle of the field and then the intermediate levels to kind of do those intermediate crossers to take advantage. So I think that fits what the offense is looking for, and I think they'd be low key signings that people weren't focused on too much.
And I wanted to take all of us to keep this on, all four of us, and even the fam out there. When we speak about the offense in mind and the concepts, that's all subject to change because we don't know what we're going to get. Now, the one thing that you spoke of, and I don't think either sitting here because we're thinking about Alshon. We're looking on the outside. Like, we can't, like, as sure as Alshon is here to be back, as sure as it is that Nelson Aguilar is gone.
Oh, yeah.
So
there's no way.
That's where it plays more into what Chuck's is saying, that 6'1" guy that can operate in between and be explosive. And we have seen the Tajay Sharp become more explosive and operate. And I think now these guys, we're thinking that they're going to go that second. That this is probably that second wave.
Second, third wave, yeah.
Second and third wave because we looked at the free agent list. And I guess are we at there where we can start leading into free agents, or do we have something else?
Let's see. I was going to do stereo. No, we can start to look at free agents. I'll bring up a list.
So, because I know we're getting not close up against it for break, but it's getting pretty.
Yeah,
It's kinda getting there.
15.
Yeah, like 15.
So when you looked at the wide receivers, we'll start there. The top of that list was A.J. Green and Emmanuel Sanders.
So I'll run down
Too
the
old.
top 5 or 10
Old
guys here.
and injured.
Old.
So on the receiver end of the free agents, you got A.J. Green, Emmanuel Sanders, Devin Fuentes, Paul
Funches?
Richardson.
Funches.
Fuentes?
I don't care.
Fuentes.
Fuentes?
Fuentes.
Is that a Patriots fan thing?
You got a fluent shit.
Devin
Amari
Fuentes.
Amari Cooper, Randall Cobb, Amendola, Travis Benjamin.
Oh, Chucks, he's still available. Travis
Uh,
Benjamin. He's still here.
Perriman, Chester Rogers, Robbie Anderson, Demarius Thomas, Slater, who the Patriots will re-sign. But he's not a receiver anyway. Philip Dorsett, who's been mentioned to go to the Eagles.
That's a deep threat.
Yucky.
Aguilar, who we know will not be back.
Yucky.
He'll be with the Patriots.
No, thank you. Yes. Rashard Higgins, Josh Gordon, Seth Roberts, Tavon Austin, Dwayne Harris, Cody Lattimore.
Latimer.
I don't really care. You know what?
You're reading it.
Jermaine Kearse.
You're reading names, Kevin.
I didn't even know somebody was still in the
Not
league
my
with the
name.
last name Curse, to be honest with you.
Yes. I'm pretty sure there's 2.
Seattle. The old Seattle receiver.
Jordan Matthews, Dontrell Inman, Chris Moore, Corey Coleman, Treadwell, Tajay Sharp,
There's my guy.
Cody Core, Mike Thomas, Tim Patrick, and then the rest of this list is guys.
I don't think that
Tim Patrick.
Rashard Higgins is another guy that I would
Yeah.
be
He was in
interested as
Cleveland,
like
right?
as like the slot guy. If you need someone to replace Aguilar
Right.
and you want just in case like Ward doesn't pan out, someone to compete with Ward,
The other
Rashard
one, if
Higgins
I'm
would be a
not
slot
mistaken,
guy.
you said the name Justin Hardy. Am I
Yeah,
not-
he'd be another slot guy.
another guy from
Yeah,
Atlanta.
from Atlanta. Yep,
What about Taylor Gabriel? He's locked up in Chicago.
he's locked up in Chicago.
So Justin Hardy, he reminds me a lot of Taylor Gabriel. So then that's somebody that's small because they really don't have that
slot guy.
smaller than 6 foot wide receiver that can kind of just shift you out your feet.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, it could be a catch-up run, but like they need a route runner. I would say this: if I'm going old, I still say this, if I'm going old wide receiver, and it's something that I'm looking into, Probably Emmanuel Sanders, because he just knows where to find these zones.
Emmanuel
He's gonna
Sanders
get
is still
paid,
really
though.
good.
He's gonna
He's
gonna
gonna get paid.
He's going
Yeah.
to get the championship payroll, too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now, do you think AJ Green can still get paid?
not
he
from
didn't
us.
Play, he didn't play at all
Better
last.
not be
I
from
think he
here.
ends up on the Patriots, to be honest.
They followed for him last
If
year.
they bring back Brady, yeah.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah. Yes.
If
Yeah.
they're going to go after OBJ or go after AJ Green.
Yeah, I
And-
think that it
and
makes sense because
if
it'd be like a
OBJ
1
is
year.
on the market, Howie, I swear to God.
That's what Ralphie said. Ralphie said the same thing. He's
Swear
like, hey,
to
OBJ.
God.
Please get OBJ.
Do you want me to jump back to because the comments are
Yeah, go.
flying.
Go ahead,
They're
go
absolutely
ahead.
flying. Let's see here. People giving Flyers updates saying, let's go Flyers.
Let's do
Fly
it.
guys.
For one.
Bill says, any vet with Ward, Alshon, Deshaun, and their draft pick, hopefully Ruggs, they will be fine. I'd like Cooper. Don't forget Ertz and Dallas Goddard. Let's see. Anthony Adis says, I think the Eagles are shopping Alshon, Deshaun, and with Sproles, retire JP, we'll have some cap space. So he's saying that.
Yeah, there's more cap space to be had.
Let's see. Chris Stein says, not saying I would do it, but would you make the trade if Cleveland offers you OBJ?
Depend-
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Depends. Well, I mean, also it always depends on what it is, what the package is. But yeah, I'd be very interested.
Oh, this is what? This would be his,
Very interested in OBJ.
this would be his 6th year, 14,
Something like
15,
that.
16, 17,
He can
18.
catch a ball.
Their thing is usually picks.
14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
We have
19,
10 of them.
20. This is his 7th year. It's his 7th. So he's what, 29, 28?
28.
So it's probably-
Yeah, I believe so.
That's-
I think he just turned 29.
So the Browns was a name I was going to bring up because not necessarily for the OBJ factor, but if you're going to deal Jeffrey, they have where to go here.
Yeah, why would they need
They have-
Alshon?
They just have
it-
that cap space.
They've got 61 in cap space.
And
Go to
they're
the
young.
Bills. Go to the Bills.
Who,
The
Alshon?
Bills are 8.
That's what I said. I said
so
Alshon to the Bills.
The top
They
three
have cap
is
space.
Dolphins at 89, Colts at 86,
Calls up a
Bill-
lot.
Bills at 82,
Yep, that's the team. If he's
Buccaneers at 79 with all the weapons they've got. I don't know what free agency looks
I mean,
like for
Aaron
them.
can
though.
make Jeffrey
Howie
work.
has done a lot of deals with that team. Listen, I mean, he did the move obviously with Darby and Jordan Matthews. He's
Mhm.
worked with that team before. They have cap space, and nothing.
They need a big guy.
There's nothing
Yeah.
flashy about them. You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah,
tried
yeah.
getting Kelvin Benjamin a couple
Yeah.
years ago, and you see how that panned out.
He
You know
turned
what I'm saying?
into a linebacker.
Overrated. Most overrated.
I can see, but then if they don't make a trade
Turn
for
into a
Jeffrey,
defensive
I can see them going. Unfortunately for Bills fans, for Devin Funchess, who really needs to convert the tight end,
Yeah.
really bad.
Bunches of bunches.
Eileen saying she does not want Alshon in New England. No, sir, no way.
take
Neither
him,
do I.
please.
you
No, they're getting Aguilar.
Oh my God, he
No.
would thrive.
See,
in
I
that
don't want
system.
that
He
because
would,
he'll turn into like an actual
Good-
decent player.
Good.
He's
good
going
wide
to. He's
receiver.
going to regardless. Anywhere else.
We
he
already have 2 Aguilars.
I could also
No,
see
you
him
do
in.
not have an
But you
Elsa
can have
Aguilar on your
3.
team. You do not have.
Edelman will
an
get suspended for PEDs again. You'll need him.
You
No.
you do not have enough.
He's
well,
over PEDs. He's on to,
Jumping on
burglaries.
cars,
Yeah.
jumping on freaking
Edelman-
cars.
Yeah, he's
As great
escalated.
as Edelman is, he's right now Aguilar on that team with Josh McDaniels. Jesus Christ.
We need
Yeah.
a true deep threat. We don't need Aguilar.
Aguilar could do
I
that,
could
but he'll
see-
run away from the ball.
With
Yeah, it's the
scheme,
opposite direction.
with scheme, he can. With scheme, he can.
No, I think.
Granted, by deep threat, I do mean only 30 yards. Because
To be honest-
so I'm sorry.
Yeah, true. To be honest, I think.
Andy
Eileen,
Dalton
you
could
gonna
throw
let him
further
talk
than
about
that.
your quarterback like that?
the
Andy
top.
Dalton could throw further than that, though.
No gingers allowed. Sorry, Crow.
I think the number one destination for Aguilar, if I were to bet, is Indy. I
Or
think he can. They have the
Indy
cap space. They need
or-
a wide receiver.
Or
Makes sense with Frank Reich.
Miami.
no, San Fran.
They
Oh, well,
have
you know
so
he'll
many
be
wide
good.
receivers. They have so
And
many wide
they do.
receivers.
And little cap space.
They
that
have
they're
so.
not going to put it
So
down.
you have you're projected. You forget that Trent Taylor is going to be coming back. You forget that they drafted Jalen Hurd to be like their other guy. They have
Where number 9 is?
Debo Samuel. So and they still have other wide receivers. Like I don't see them going with Aguilar.
I'm just saying, we're talking about like being explosive and being where
Yeah.
you gonna go?
I just figured it out. I'm not saying it's good. I mean, because who knows? There's a team out west that is clearing all money, all wide
LA.
receivers. That is it would make perfect sense for them
Yeah.
to clear all the money and bring him in because he's not commanding a lot of money.
No.
Wait, who?
High-
Aguilar. You're talking about?
Aguilar Rams. High
Okay.
potential, low money. He's
I
not
can
getting a
see
ton.
it.
He's
Are
not
they
getting paid.
legit? Are they legitly trying to get rid of everyone?
They are clearing so much. Yeah, because they have to. They have to
They
sign
have to.
Rams.
They only have 14 in cap space.
Who?
The Rams.
That's on. It's because listen, if there's a chance I can get Cooper Cup.
I don't
Trade
think,
a second round pick for him. He's making $960. Trade a second. I'll trade a first because I know he can play.
Give me the white boy connection.
he's
I'll take
good.
that.
The Eagles went. The Eagles
good.
looked into him. The Eagles looked into him when he was drafted.
He's good.
Oh
I mean,
man,
he's good.
That's
I'm
my guy.
excited now.
That's the one.
I got a little tingle in my belly.
Because they
The one.
Jared Goff's contract begins, so
Yes.
they have to free up money for that. So they have to rebuild their offensive line.
They're screwed.
They're going to need a running back.
They're screwed.
They're putting Gurley on the market, so they got to get creative there. You have Brandon Cooks, who might friggin' retire. Robert Woods, who knows. Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
And here's the thing with Cooper Kupp. He's entering his final year on his contract.
Yeah,
He's going to get paid. The Rams won't be able to pay him.
is that your girl?
No.
No, it's the sideline.
No, the sideline.
Sideline reporter.
Oh, okay.
So honestly, they could be looking ahead and think, yeah, no, that good. That's exactly it, Chucks. That's exactly it. Yeah.
I don't know. They all look the same.
I mean,
Oh, fan.
I'm a fan.
Okay.
Number
one fan.
We gotta take her.
But you understand my point. You know,
Yeah.
Cooper
Yeah.
Kupp, he's going to get paid within the next year
Right.
by somebody. The Rams won't be able to do it. I think it would make sense for them to put him
I
on
would
the
be
market.
all for it. I
Yes,
just
I
don't know
would.
if it would. It's
Two
gonna
teams to also note that are going to be big sellers come free agency and draft time is going to be Jacksonville and the Vikings.
I would take Diggs over
So
pretty much dead.
Diggs.
the Jags have negative
Diggs.
$3 million cap space,
Jesus.
You know
and
who that's from?
and the Vikings
Wait,
have,
from who?
Nicky Foles.
Screwed him.
and the Vikings have negative $11 million.
Really?
That's from Kirk.
I don't know how that happens.
Would you rather Diggs? Would you rather want Diggs or Thielen?
Thielen?
I'm a Diggs
Thielen.
guy.
Thielen.
I
I
want
personally am
Thielen.
a Diggs guy,
Hands
but
are
I
better.
always have been.
Better hands.
To me, they're the same. They're the same level of player.
Yeah.
The-
I just think Diggs is a little bit more explosive.
Diggs is
Yeah.
more. Diggs is more explosive. He's more the deep threat, the better route runner.
It's
But
Thielen.
Adam Thielen is very sure-handed.
Yeah.
I think
I
he's
think he uses
safer.
his body better.
He's safer. Yeah, he's
He's going to
yeah.
age better too.
Yeah.
He's going to age. I mean, he's
And-
not going to fall off
Yeah.
a cliff.
And he's not a locker room issue, which is what you guys don't need right now.
Well, if Alshon's going, we have no locker room problems.
Yeah.
So you think.
Who you pointing out
Yeah,
to?
who you
now?
pointing
I'm
at?
not. I'm just saying.
What's unknown?
Nobody
You
knows,
just pointed
so-
out somebody.
Who you're gonna say it? Point it
Go
out.
Speak.
Point it
I'm
out.
not saying
If
anybody. I'm
You
saying
just said it.
You said so. You think so? What do you think? Sounds like you think there's a problem.
I don't think anything.
You don't
I'm
think
just
it-
saying.
We know that by the choice of your teams, but nevertheless.
By your attire. I'm going to jump to YouTube. There's a ton of
Yeah.
Facebook, but I'm going to jump to YouTube.
Okay.
YouTube
YouTube love.
Eagles Champs 1 saying Alshon Jeffery needs to go. Nigel Bradham got released. Then Bryce Blackwell saying,
Bryce.
with Nigel gone, we're definitely getting younger. Let's see. Eagles Champ says Alshon is
This-
the
I hate
rat.
this transition.
David Rosca wishing me a happy birthday. Dave, my birthday is in June.
Rosca,
But thank you, Dave. But thank you, Dave. Appreciate you. Bryce saying Alshon is definitely gone. WY2 Fly saying sup A2D family. Happy birthday, Y2
What's
Fly.
up? Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Feliz
Y2 Fly
cumpleaños.
saying we need a young stud linebacker with Nigel's departure. Eric Eaglestalk says, "What's happening, guys? Do you see who do you see getting cut next? They said it's going to be more notable names."
Probably JP.
Well, JP's on. He doesn't. They don't have to cut him. He's
Thought
a
he
free
was-
agent.
He's a free agent.
Yeah.
All right. So I mean, that's. But
Let's see.
I'll ask you.
Well, okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Let's do our exercise that we were supposed to do. Let's go before we go to half, and then in the second half we'll get into Nigel Bradham talk and we'll get into more NFL free agency. But let's go position by position. Quarterback, honestly, obviously it's the only like maybe there is Nate Sudfeld,
Go on.
but I think he's someone that doesn't matter. You need to back up if you want to sign him to be a camp body. You can
Yeah.
re-sign him.
I
and-
think they can get a better
Nothing's going on.
backup than that. though.
yeah, then Nate
100%.
Sudfeld. So, running backs. obviously we have Sanders and we have Scott. Elijah Holyfield was just signed. To me, he's a dark horse player to you should watch out for.
Yep.
And more coming up on him. I will be doing a video breakdown and an article on him next week. But the other guy that everyone wants to talk about is Jordan Howard. Do you guys see him re-signing here, or is he gone?
I think he's gone.
I feel
Kevin?
like there's no the market's very small for him. So I feel like if that's the case, he could easily come back on a 1-year prove it.
I think that, or Kevin, you go first. You go first. Yeah.
I think I would rather him be gone for the names that are going to be out there.
As far as draft or free agency? Because
Draft. I don't think you're
I'm
or
already
free
going on-
agency. Sorry, I
I'm
don't
going
think.
on record right now. Sanders is going to be a top 5 back next year.
Yeah, I'm going to say free agency. I don't think that you're going to draft somebody because of Sanders. You're not going to throw another young back in there. You're going to bring in somebody that could help progress him, like a David Johnson-esque back,
What? You think we're signing David Johnson?
like him.
I think
David
there's a
Some-
shot.
Johnson
I think
has-
Chuck. I think there's a shot.
Really?
I-
I don't
yeah.
see it.
Especially if he gets cut.
I think no.
He
I
did
think
Catches
that's
passes.
what's
Catches passes.
I think so does Scott.
To
All right,
me, you
that's-
don't need him to catch with Scott.
So
And
is Corey
Sanders
Clement
is
an afterthought at this point?
Yeah, I
Holyfield's
think he's
going to
gone.
take his job.
I think Holyfield.
I
So
think Holyfield, yeah.
so for Howard, I don't. One, you got to consider that if he were to come back, he'd be the third guy.
Yeah.
Right, he'd be the third guy, and he'd have a specific role, but like he'd be the third guy essentially. Now, is Howie going to pay a third guy, like a third running back? When you're talking about Howie, who's been very like frugal and conservative when it comes to the running back position before the 2019 NFL draft, he was very very like let me just spend least amount of resources on the running back position. So to say that he will be willing to spend anything more than a rookie contract or a minimum or a league minimum for a third your RB3, where he can get a guy that's either undrafted or late in the draft, or he already has him in Elijah Holyfield, I don't see Howie paying Howard even the amount of money that people think he's going to do, because
Right.
I don't think that Howie sees that as a necessity to allocate more money into when he doesn't need to. And I think for Howard also, he knows that Sanders is here. He knows that Scott is here. If he's going to come back on a 1-year prove it deal, he's not going to get much chance to prove it. So I think there are teams, to me, what comes to mind is he could be the 1A or the veteran guy for a team like Miami, who has no one right now. And I think that Miami could bring him in as that 1B or 1A to whoever they draft, and be like the veteran to kind of lead that rookie in. So
Tampa.
I think all it takes is one guy, or Tampa too. Tampa also. So like all it takes is one team to say, hey, we saw what you did when you were healthy in Philly. I think you're worth a few million. And once he gets that offer, Howie's not going to match it.
Right.
So I don't think that Howard's going to be back. And when it comes to Clement, I'm pretty sure he's gone. It can't stay healthy and everything. And with Elijah Holyfield, I really think that people really need to they really need to be aware of him as a name, because last year people forgot about him because of the combine, because he ran a slow 40. But if he's a power back, does a slow 40 matter?
He's huge.
No. He is powerful, and he's got quick feet, and he has good vision.
Is it
And
fair to compare him to Devlin, the guy you have? Because Devlin's he's just a red zone guy. He's
Yeah.
just a goal line
Just a
guy.
be-
Well,
yeah,
he's a fullback.
so
that's all Holyfield would be.
So
to us.
Holyfield will only be the short yardage guy,
Yes.
and I'm telling you, if you go watch his Georgia tape in 2018, he could absolutely be a
Yes.
red zone short.
Wasn't he originally projected to go like second, third round?
People had him that high.
Yeah.
Like Ben Solak had him as like his second best running back in his rankings at one point. Like I had him as a 4th round grade, and he went undrafted. Like I think that I am very intrigued by Holyfield, and I think that he could end up being next year's version in a way, and maybe not to that degree, but like kind of what Scott ended up being. Scott was signed late in 2018, and no one thought anything of it. He was an undrafted free agent that rode the practice squad, and he came in and he was assigned a role this year, and he excelled. I think next year you're gonna have similar thing with Holyfield comes in late year addition, and he's gonna find a role. They're gonna look for a short
Right.
yardage guy, and I think he will be that. He is a very intriguing young guy. So I do like Holyfield. Tight ends, I think we're all set. Like there's really no one there. Peters, I think we are all in agreement that he's gone. There's no other linemen unless you want to touch on Jordan Mailata. I'm pretty sure Mailata's back.
Yeah. Big V's going to be going though, so you have
Big V's going to be gone.
I think they're replacing. I think they bring Dennis Kelly back, or Matt Pryor takes on a bigger role.
I think Matt Pryor will probably continue to develop. D-line. So let's go to the edge. What would you do? Now, he's not going to go anywhere next year, but do you think it's – because I think it's a foregone conclusion. I think the Eagles are going to exercise Derek Barnett's option.
Yes.
Do you agree with that move or no?
Yes. Because Brandon is in his early 30s, so and you don't know what you're going to have there as how much more you can give.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not that speed rusher he once was a couple of seasons ago.
Mm-hmm.
And you just don't have that speed rusher itself.
Well, neither is the Barnett. He's not really speed
I
rusher.
think this is defensive tackle. I mean, Jernigan's gone.
I think Jordan is gone. What do you
Right.
guys like? What do you guys say? I think he's gone.
And then
Because I think that they have Malik coming back.
Yep.
Obviously Cox.
and they got
I think they like Ridgeway. I think
Ridgeway and the other boy. What's the other guy?
Rush.
Yeah.
Anthony Rush. I mean, Anthony Rush is nothing to write home about, but I mean, as a fourth guy, you could. I mean, he showed
Right.
to.
So you got
so
the
far,
depth there.
yeah.
You can put, and they possibly can bring ex-Eagle back, and that's Bo Allen.
Curry.
I'm talking about Bo Allen from Tampa Bay as tackle.
No, yeah, Curry just popped up as another name we have to bring up.
We-
But go ahead.
Yeah, Curry as a defensive end, maybe on another 1-year deal.
I think he's gone. I would move on from
We can
Curry.
move on. Okay.
I would move on from Curry.
So
I think he comes back just because of all the other pieces that are
and you
leaving.
still got what Josh Sweat is doing as well.
I think Josh Sweat will be. I think Josh Sweat will push for starting time, if not like split 50-50 with Barnett. I think I think they have a plan for the reason why I think Curry is gone is I think they have a plan for Avery. I think they
Yes.
traded for him the fourth round pick for Avery. They literally Howie legit said that we knew that getting him would be like it would require an off season in our system, in our organization to really groom him to what we want him to be. I think they have a plan for Avery, and I think he is that explosive speed rusher on the edge that they want. So he'll be a complimentary guy, but I think that's why Curry's gone.
What's up?
No, I think that I think Curry comes back in just because of how many other people are going to leave. I think you need a veteran presence there still.
Curry. All right, I don't think so. All right, linebackers Kamu.
Yes, I want him back.
Okay.
Everybody else, you get
All right.
figure it out.
This is what we're gonna do. So, for the secondary, we'll finish that off in the second half, because I think the cornerback position is very interesting. So, second half, we will continue the stay or go, and then we'll get into more. We'll talk about Bradham and the linebacking position, and then talk more NFL free agency. But guys, don't go anywhere.
No.
Stick with us. We still got a lot to talk about, obviously. So make sure you give us 5-10 minutes, and we will be right back. The first half was brought to you by ATS Sports Picks, atsportspick.com. Don't forget to use the promo code. What's the promo code?
A2D.
A2D.
You get 20%
Yeah,
off.
20%
20%
off.
off.
And then Ambuck Services, gutter cleaning. Clean your gutters, guys. Make sure that's with the
That's
weather changing.
AMBUCK.
K Services. All right, we will be back in a few minutes, live from the Real Talk Studios. This is Birds of a Feather. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a few.
Gang, gang.
And everyone on Facebook, jump over to the YouTube chat. We're going to be ending over here. So everyone on Facebook, head over to YouTube. The link is in the comments and also in the description. We'll be back in a
A2D
sec.
Radio. Welcome back. Thank you for rocking with us, A2D fam. It's your boy Pete. We got Chucks, Kevon, and we got the boy Brodo, Birds of a Feather, the gang all here. And second half of the show, thank you for rocking with us. It's brought to you by our Doc Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC. Find him in Burlington, Cherry Hill, and Princeton, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. He's our doc, make him yours. And also by the best tailgating game in the business. It's playqb54shop.com. /discount /no notes. Use promo code no notes and get 20% off. You can check out our A2D radio on the Twitter. You can see the link. Get it, tailgate for any occasion. Doesn't matter. You can just have a party. Sweet 16 bar mitzvah. Andy Ritter knows all about that. And we left off in the first half talking about potential Eagle free agents, stay or go. And we left off with the secondary. I think we did linebackers a little bit, and there's really only one left. And that was really consideration was Kamu Grugier-Hill. So secondary, this is very intriguing to me because we did have a little Brady. I just saying there's some more notable notes coming because you already know that the Eagles did release Nigel Bradham. They parted ways. So I'm going to give it to Kevon. Do you see all of them staying as currently constructed? Obviously, Jalen Mills is a free agent. Darby's a free agent. Rodney McLeod's a free agent, is not being talked about enough. And then really the only one you really have under contract right now is Malcolm Jenkins.
I think it all depends. I think it's going to depend first at receiver what they do in the secondary because they're going to keep more if they go heavy receiver in the draft and go high for somebody. Or what I think they should do is not draft receiver high, drop out, say 4th round and get somebody. I'm not saying dropping out, but I'm saying wait versus go up to get a receiver.
You're not waiting a 4th round to drop the receiver.
We just went over how many free agents are out there. You don't have to go draft somebody.
They have to get
They
younger.
have to get
a
younger.
number one.
They have to get a number one.
That's his
we
number
did talk
one
about that
priority.
first half. You're not waiting. You know how many
I said the
people.
same thing first half. I said they weren't going to go up.
Do you know how many people would be lining up at the link at the NovaCare complex to riot if Howie does not take a wide receiver on day 1 or 2? I agree. Like you don't have to take one in round 1, but you have to take one in round 2 or 3.
Yes.
You have to go early. Like you can't wait till now. Is there a rare occasion where a player that is graded maybe around 2 or 3 could fall around 4? Sure, but I'm not going to bank on it. You have to look at those top tier guys and say, all right, if whoever falls to me in round 2, I'm taking. Like there's no way you leave day 2 of the draft without a wide receiver. There's no way. No way
at all.
So, how about this? You going? What if you were to sign Roddy Anderson before the draft?
Okay.
You go out and get him.
Yeah.
26. Only 3 years of experience. You pay him. You already know he's proven.
Okay.
Now you don't have to draft somebody. You go
Yeah,
out.
you do
and
because
you get
he's not a wide receiver 1.
Nah,
It's another 2.
And that's-
I
that's the
think he
point.
can be a 1.
No, there's
No,
there's
you think foolishly.
Yeah, he could.
He's
look
not a
where
wide
he came
receiver
from.
one.
Look where he came from. He came from the Jets. The Jets had no wide receivers. Quentin Newell went down. The other wide receiver that they picked, the Jermaine Kearse that we spoke about, they signed him to a free agent contract. And in that small pond, Robbie Anderson, yeah, he was the big fish, but I can't say he's really a one-trick pony, but I mean he goes deep. Out of those free agents list, there's no true number 1 wide receiver overall all around that's available as a free agent, and the Eagles are severely lacking that, and they need that.
You think you're going to draft a number 1 this year for this
form
year?
into one,
That's
yes.
the whole point.
You can form. I think you can form sooner Roddy Anderson into being your number 1 versus whoever you're going to draft in round 3. You proved it last
We're
year
not
with
drafting in round 3 though. Who says if we
two 2, 3, wherever you're at.
What about 1? So are you saying that if we draft
he
somebody
just he wants Henry Ruggs for himself.
You have to go out.
That's what that is.
I don't think that the Eagles weigh the receiver position enough to go out and go up in the first round and get somebody.
We didn't say go.
No, we're not
we said
saying go up.
Go up, or even if you're right, they're not going to take a receiver in the first round, period, is what I say.
So if some by miracle, you're saying that if Lamb, Judy, or Henry Ruggs fall to the
Number
Eagles at
21.
21, there's 0% chance they would draft them.
I think that they will
Yes or
put
no?
no.
Then
Yeah,
then Howie Roseman should be fired
Fired.
on the spot.
That's
Even at that
I don't
point.
think
No.
he's going to. I don't think he's going to. You saw what they already did last year.
that was last year.
You got to
Okay,
learn from
look
your
at 2 years
different
before
philosophy.
that.
No,
He's not
going
gonna
to
go up.
backwards though.
He's-
This is a
he's not
different
gonna take
philosophy.
receiver.
Yes.
They were in win now. They had the core. They weren't the oldest franchise in the league then. Now we are. You're looking at a window that is closing under this philosophy.
Yeah,
He
even
said it himself.
He said it.
The youth
in his,
movement is here. He
Yes.
said it.
we're
don't-
not making stuff up. We're
No,
not
if
speculating. He came out and said it word for word
Yeah.
that they have to change their philosophy.
They have to get younger.
I understand that, and Roddy Anderson's only 26. He's only
But
been
he's
like
not
3
a number
years.
one. And you have
If
we
you
just
have-
talked about Deshaun Jackson, Alshon Jeffery. How old are they? 30 and up.
33 and 30.
So what if Deshaun Jackson doesn't plays one game again? Week 1, after that he's out.
They're
Now
playing-
you're left with
I'm
Alshon
not-
Jeffery.
The problem with the problem that we're in right now as an Eagles fan base is the fact, and the organization is the fact that we put our eggs in the Deshaun and Alshon basket. We put it in the geriatric wide receiver basket. So, listen, Robbie Anderson, good, 26 years old. I like
Cool.
that. He's young. You're
that
going to
can't be
overpay
it.
for him. You're going to be. It's not Robbie Anderson so much a player. Not saying I don't think he can turn into a number one. The capital that you would have to commit to him is not where the Eagles are right now. They have to be smarter, and where they have $50 million, and there's based on the draft that's your perspectives and the talent that that will be available to you at 21 or even in the second round. Wide receiver is going to be more. You can kind of. I'm going to say you can find a Robbie Anderson-esque. Whereas you look at safety, you look at linebacker, you look at defensive end, that $50 million that they have currently in cap space will be better used towards that. That's because that's honestly where I think their splash is going. I think they're going to make a real run at a Yannick Ngakoue.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I think I would drop dead. I would drop dead. Be like, I'm good. I'm good.
I think they're
Boom.
going to real run at that because we just talked about it with their secondary. You have one safety out of 4 starting positions that's actually under contract. They may find themselves in a position that they're going to be bringing back Jalen Mills if they don't want to, because what market does he have? But you don't know what you're going to get out of Sidney Jones. Are they going to possibly move Avonte Maddox to safety? Could that be a
Yeah,
possibility?
'cause they've already shown they're not going to do it with Rasul,
They're not gonna
which
do it with
I
Rasul.
wish they would.
I wish
because
they
Sewell
would.
has the body for it.
Yes.
I wish they would.
So,
What if they brought back Mills and they moved him
I
to
just,
safety?
I think,
who, Mills?
Yeah.
I don't think they'll do it. They haven't done it to this point. I don't think.
No,
they'll
no,
do it.
no, no. I'm not saying, will they do it? Should they do it?
Yeah, I've been saying
Yes.
Mills and Douglas. They're better safety. They could be better safeties than corners.
Yes.
I just think Howie has made it. Howie has. I don't even know where to start. You make me so frustrated.
I'll get the bed.
Howie
ready.
has
can't
been.
talk.
I'll get the bed ready.
Howie has been someone who has. We've seen it before, and it's not like there isn't a track record. Whenever he says something that he owns up to, he fixes it.
Yes.
Numerous examples. So it's not like I'm speculating. I'm not. If he says something that he acknowledges was a mistake, he fixes it. He acknowledged that certain things develop, banking on, hang on to old names for too long and not building through the draft enough and and all of that, and his focus is shifting now toward going young. He said it. He said it in his press conference. That's why I thought it was a huge deal. That press conference was awesome to hear. It was everything I wanted to hear because now I have faith in how he's going to do how he needs to do. He also acknowledged him and Joe Douglas' faults in the draft in going off of production over athletic ability and talent. They trusted production way too much, which is something I even acknowledged months before. I said they put too much stock into production, and so when you're now if I'm going to take what he said and I'm going to shift it and I'm going to say, okay, now Howie wants to shift from that mindset and he wants to go with more athletic ability. What does that tell me? That tells me that he knows he needs athletes. And when you're talking about athletes, what are you talking about? You're talking about top-tier explosive playmakers at the wide receiver position. And also, when the Eagles 3 years ago in the offseason, when they needed to invest and get Wentz help, what did they do? The primary focus was wide receiver help, getting Carson help. So, if Howie knows he has to get Carson help because now is the time to do so, why would he skip on a top-tier talent at wide receiver if one falls to them at the right spot early on draft day, either day 1 or day 2? Why would he skip that? Because Kevin says they shouldn't do that?
So let's backtrack to my initial point. The question was...
Please, because I'm having a really hard time understanding.
Well, I'll speak slower. Well, the initial
you
question,
might have to go like snail's pace because what you're screwing out is not making sense.
The initial question
He's doing
is
a Pete right here.
who do I think is going to be brought back on the defensive side of the ball in the secondary? And I said right now that's a hard question to answer because you don't know where they're valuing the receiver position. You're already young. We know that Ward's earned a roster spot, and they've got JJ. So they are young, and 2 of your 4 starting pieces. So there's only one other spot on. They're only going to have a consistent 5.
Can I amend something though? JJ's not a starter, and Ward is your slot.
But I think they both will be.
/ kick and punt returner.
I think they both will be. I think they're going to develop them up and say, okay, we've already invested in them. Our issue in the past was not putting the investment into our young guys. Let's do that now. Let's bring in all of the new offensive pieces that we brought in the coaching staff to help do that. And we're going to coach these guys up and actually make a game plan. Because last year, as we all know, they said that we've tried JJ in 6 different positions. Let's not do that anymore. That's the mistake I'm making. Let's put him in one spot and run with it.
Kev, can I ask you a quick question, Kev, real quick? Is it not it's called a bad effing sign that when your wide receivers are shredded to the effing core, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, who was picked in what round, Pete?
Second.
Thank you for clarification.
Sorry, I'm not Pete. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay, Chucks. I'll take it. Chucks, he was taken in which round?
Second.
Thank you, Chucks.
I lost a lot of weight, by the way.
Still losing weight.
Second round. When J.J. Arcega-Whiteside can't get on the field over Mac Hollins, remember him? Is that not a concern to you?
It is, but to me that concern is now gone in Grow, who was game planning for
I
it.
agree with him on that point. And
You're not game Grow is your game plan.
So you think it's based off of game plan that our second-round pick couldn't get on the field over Mac Hollins, who may be the worst receiver of all time?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you still have top picks, but the reason why I agree with Kev based on coaching is because it's something in that coaching room, both sides, because they did the same thing with L.J. Fort. These coaches fall in love with certain players because they do things a certain way, and necessarily may not be used. But as I take his side, I'll come back to you, Kev. You just said Robbie Anderson, right? You just sat here and gave us this beautiful soliloquy on everything with these new coaches and these players and not putting JJ in that position. So if that's the case, you want these new coaches to come in and coach up the young talent. Hence why it wouldn't go after Robbie Anderson. If Robbie Anderson could be a number 1, why does the team now on your shirt not go after him in our place?
Yeah.
The question is easy to answer there, Pete.
Oh, now it's easy.
Money.
Now
it's money. Money and ego.
Oh, you guys don't have money.
No, we do. We don't like to spend it though. We still have
how
a
are you going to
quarterback.
get your quarterback back then if you don't like to spend it? And how are you going to get him weapons, which he wants in order to stay?
Would you rather have a 30-year-old AJ Green or a 26-year-old Robbie Anderson?
I'd rather have Robbie Anderson, but I know that that's not what the Patriots are going to go out and do. I know that AJ Green not have playing for a year is going to have a less of a number put on him. I think.
You think so?
I think so. He hasn't played in a year.
But it's still AJ
What do you-
Green.
But
also
who are you
it'll
getting?
be-
Who
I
are you
think
getting
it'll-
in AJ Green?
I think it'll be high money, but only like a 1 or 2 year deal.
What are you getting in AJ Green though? You don't know. You haven't seen him play in a year. Do you know what you're getting?
That's why I'd rather go Robbie Anderson if I had the money.
Yep.
That's what I just said.
But I'm talking about
We're agreeing.
for any team, not just for the Eagles. Like if this was last year, and the Eagles had Robbie Anderson to go back and trade for Deshaun, by all means go get Robbie Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
But you're in the turn the clock a year forward in the offseason. The next offseason, it's a little bit different, and I'm more concerned with the receivers things are kind of work itself out because you have the potential where in this draft where receivers is the talent at receiver is supposed to be elite. You can't say the same for corner and in the secondary, and you have more questions to answer there. So the majority of this $50 million, I think, is going to go towards the defensive side
Defense
of
of the ball.
Byron Jones.
To
I would
me,
like that.
Logan Ryan.
I'd
Logan
like that.
Ryan's my guy.
I'd like that too.
Logan
I'd like it
Ryan's
too.
a sleeper.
He's
Yes.
like my option B,
Yeah.
but might turn in my
He's
option
also-
A because he can be not as good as Byron Jones, but
Right.
very good with way less money going towards him.
he's also a local guy.
Yes, he is.
Rutgers.
And he also picked off, what's his name,
from-
Tom Brady?
He's from
In the
Boise.
playoff game?
I think to one point you said that, Kevin, like you're saying that we already if we sign Robbie Anderson,
It could be question
it's
mark.
already
receiver,
it's
though.
already like okay, we have Robbie Anderson and then you have Jay Jaw and then you have Ward. You're set at good young talent.
Oh, no.
But I look at what the Chiefs did. They had Tyreek Hill, they had Sammy Watkins, they had DeMarcus Robinson. Who did they draft in the third round this past NFL draft?
Second.
Pete.
Cole Hardman.
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry. I'm not Pete.
And-
Was that the second?
oh,
It's a second round.
Ryan,
Yes.
who did they draft?
Me.
I
Cole
lost weight
Hardman.
and I turned
Thank
white.
you. Did they rest on their laurels and say, "Oh, we already have Tyreek Hill and Sammy Watkins and DeMarcus Robinson.
How about
we
the
don't need
49ers?
him. We Cole Hardman."
How
No,
about- Who did they draft?
Oh, they drafted
Debo
Debo
Samuel!
Samuel.
I
So,
think
so to what my point is, what I'm getting at is that I think the way you're looking at the draft is all wrong because I think smart and successful teams they see the talent that fall to them, and if they see a talent at a position that they could use someone, then they're going to take the talented player.
Yeah.
That is what good drafters do. They take whoever, like when the Eagles drafted Zach Ertz, they still had a really good tight end.
Yeah.
But they drafted the best talent available. Like it's
they
not
kinda did
you're
it
saying
again.
you're saying that we're good. The Eagles are good at wide receivers.
I
They
say
signed
no.
Robbie Anderson.
I say
so
no
they're
because
just
they're
not
going
going
to
to
sign somebody
set.
before the draft.
But
No,
it
but
doesn't.
here's the thing,
That's
Kev.
not. They're not. Robbie Anderson.
It could be question
It's not
mark.
going to be.
No.
It's still not going to be enough of a difference maker, or it's not even going to be like there's so much talent at the wide receiver position, which regardless of what they do in free agency, there is still going to be a position of need come the draft because their top two wide receivers are old. And you cannot bank. Like, I still believe in J-Jaw. But what happens if he doesn't pan out? So now he's nothing. I like Greg Ward. But what happens if he's nothing more than a fourth wide receiver? So those are your two young
Which would
guys
be-
now that are just out the window as options. So now you're leaning on Alshon, Deshaun, and Robbie Anderson. That is not how you build. You have to keep in mind that they still absolutely need to draft a wide receiver high. It does not make sense to not
Kev,
draft one
Kev, here's
high.
the other thing that you're missing out on, too. Now that Carson Wentz's first year of his new deal is starting, It's very important. You see it with the running backs to where now you know you have Sanders, who's not making anything because he's, a young player. Obviously, Boston Scott, he's not making anything. With the receivers, it's important, especially in this year's draft, to where it is touted as one of the best, if not the best, wide receiver draft ever, to get a handful, not just one guy in the first handful of rounds, mainly first round, second round, hopefully, but to get a few at least in this draft, because it does one of two things. Number one, it increases the chance of somebody hitting. And two, it's important for these guys who are making not a lot of money because they're rookies and young. You're going to have years of control, and they will grow with Carson as Carson is in the years of where the contract is considered a lot. When he's towards the end of his contract is going to be considered a bargain because of the collective bargaining agreement, et cetera, the payroll's going up. To where right now it's about going forward with the youth of the NFL because, number one, our roster is extremely old, and two, because while we have money right now, we don't want to become like the Rams to where we are clearing out money to rebuild an offensive line in 3 years. If you went out and you got flashy move here in free agency, sure, it's really exciting now, but you could shoot yourself in the foot in 3 years. And I understand I'm the first one to say in a lot of instances to where 3 years doesn't matter, right now matters. But again, we talk about it. Moves that we made last season, Alshon Jeffery being extended, is screwing us right now to where we look back on it. When we were on the doorstep of a Super Bowl, absolutely, we can get flashy. We did that in 2017. We absolutely did. But at the moment, we do not know if we are on the doorstep of a Super Bowl or closer to now. You know what I'm saying? We have to really look at, 10 draft picks, highly touted receiver draft. You are projected to get a handful in the first couple rounds. For us to go out and not go after the position of need, while I completely agree with Pete, cornerback is important, safety is important, D-line's obviously important. Receivers to grow with Carson Wentz.
Oh, yeah.
It's so important.
And
I'm not saying they're not going to get a receiver. I'm saying that because they are going to sign.
Not the first 3 rounds, though.
Because they are going to go out and sign question mark receiver beforehand, and because there's such big talent in the draft that people are going to go, just like they have in years past with quarterbacks, is they're going to go receiver crazy and move up to get big name guys, and you're going to see a slew of guys drop back that could be big names. It could be. I haven't scouted them all out to say who they potentially are, but you could go get a diamond in the rough in the 3rd, 4th round, where now in the slim pickings in the secondary, you've used the first 2 rounds to go get.
But
the secondary in this draft isn't as good as of a value as far as the wide receiver position.
And I think you have to consider the fact that what if they do have their eyes on a guy? Yeah. Remember last year, Sanders was their guy day one. Mm-hmm. And whether or not there are people that felt like the Eagles reached for Sanders, but they felt like they didn't because he was their guy. He was the one they wanted, so they took him in the 2nd round. If they scout these wide receivers and they target a guy up high, they're not going to be like, we'll see whoever falls to us at round 4. No, like if they like a guy, he's their guy. They're going to draft him wherever. Trust me, I understand that, but then you put yourself in the catch-22 that you've realistically been in since the Super Bowl year, where you say, okay, do we want to go out and draft high receiver-wise and potentially sign a receiver?
Draft high. 21 is not high.
I'm saying it could be anywhere. First 2 rounds.
Okay.
You go out and you can sign a guy, get flashy on offense, get these young guys, build momentum there, but not fix one of the worst turnover ratios on defense on the other side of the ball.
I'm not saying that. I think they're going to do. I think they're going to do that. But I think they're going to do that in free agency, which does come before the draft. And this is to go for the list because one thing you said, Ryan, is getting Carson Wentz for receivers to grow with, yes, but you need to get impressionist wide receivers. You notice when Jeffrey and Deshaun were out, these are guys who've already been other places, already been established.
Yeah.
They're already wide receivers. So when you brought these young guys in who just want to play, they're looking at Carson as their leader.
Yeah.
And they're willing to go out. And that's what you need to do. But now you need to do that with elite talent. And that's where a Henry Ruggs or a C.D. Lamb or a Jerry Judy or a Jalen Rieger or what was it, J.K.
Brandon
Hamler.
Ayuk or KJ Hamler.
KJ
like
Hamler,
Justin
I said
Jefferson.
JK.
Like, and keep in mind also, like, just because you draft one high doesn't mean they're going to be a starter day one.
Yeah.
Wide receiver, I say all the time and remind people, it sometimes takes these guys 2-3 years to learn how to transition. So just because they draft one doesn't mean that's their answer for the short term. It could mean that that's their answer for the long term, which is very important. And if you're going to prioritize a cornerback on
Right.
this team compared to a wide receiver, they're absolutely going to do wide receiver. Do you know why? Because Carson is their guy. They're paying Carson, and they need to do whatever they can do to help Carson. He's number one. He's priority number one. So if it comes down to a wide receiver or a corner, they're going to draft a wide receiver.
Yeah, because I think they can pick. And I'll give you some names as far as cornerbacks. Josh Norman.
No.
Chris Harris.
Eh?
Jimmy Smith. Logan Ryan.
Yep.
Bradley Roby. Akeem Talib, I think he's going to retire.
No.
Travis Carey.
No.
You got Ronald Darby.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
You got Brandon Carr.
No.
Nickel Roby Coleman.
No. I don't want another.
So definitely no Tremont Williams, no Jonathan Jones, too old. Darquez Denard, slot corner. Maybe move Maddox to the outside. That's but I don't really like having to do two moves for one player.
Yeah.
Eli Apple,
No.
no. The only other thing I see, Jason Verrett, can't stay healthy, but he's
Can't stay healthy.
but he's a beast if he can.
How about
Yes,
trading
Robbie.
a 6 for Patrick Robinson?
No.
Taking
I
him
think
back
he's-
from New Orleans.
Yep.
I think he's no. I don't think they're gonna retread.
You got Vernon Hargraves. He was drafted, I think, in the first round by Tampa Bay, released and picked up by Houston.
I don't think.
Trey Waynes.
I mean, he's not horrible. I mean, I wouldn't expect much from him.
Okay.
But I mean, like, he's not horrible. He would be a piece on in our secondary.
Okay. Then obviously we got the big one, Byron Jones. We're all in on him.
I would.
This is a name though, because I'm not sure how he ended up in Minnesota. Because Minnesota has a plethora of DBs. Well, they had, because now Trey Waynes is a UFA. But Mackenzie Alexander.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also,
he's another solid.
so
guy.
also an unrestricted free agent. So these are players that you probably can get for decent deals. I'm saying south of $10 million, maybe some south of $5 million, or maybe a 2-year, 3-year deal that can kind of stopgap you into where you can get to a draft or you can get to a position that has deeper cornerbacks. Because you of all people know when it comes to DBs, you can find diamonds in the rough. But the biggest problem that I have with this is the Eagles don't draft DBs well, and they don't draft wide receivers well. Hence, J-Jaw. I'm not taking anything away. You still got a chance to prove it, but it's compared to Deebo Samuel, DK Metcalf, A.J. Brown, things of that nature. Just looking at it I'm just taking it for what it is. So I'm a big proponent of if you don't do something well, right? If you have a flaw, but you're put in a position where it's just this can make it as easy as possible for you, so you don't have to sit here and do a lot of guesswork. That's your flaw when it comes to picking a certain commodity. Because that's what these players are at the end of the day. They're commodities, they're assets. Howie Roseman doesn't draft wide receivers well. So if a Henry Ruggs or in some weird world, if C.D. Lamb or Jerry Judy falls, which I don't see that happen. If out of all three of them, I think it's more likely going to be Henry Ruggs.
Ruggs will fall.
Then the job for you at that point is easy. You just take the players with the best talent. So at 21, there's not a cornerback that I've heard outside of Jeffrey Okudah who's supposed to go in the top 5 anyway.
Yeah, he'll be gone.
He'll be gone, long gone.
Done.
That's even going to be comparable to the value that you would get a Henry Ruggs at.
Correct.
I mean, I'm not saying this. I hate to be I'm not, but I'm not even trying to get you to see my point. I get your point as well.
I understand about taking the best talent available in a position of need.
Right.
But I truly believe they will make a move for a receiver before the draft.
If they do that, they're stupid.
And if they do, which I see them doing, is going out and getting a receiver before the draft. I don't think they
Let's put
weigh
money on
that
it.
beforehand.
Let's bet on it. I'm willing to bet on it. Regardless of what
don't
happens
do-
in free agency, I think the Eagles draft a wide receiver on day 1 or 2, aka rounds 1 to 3.
I'm not discounting what you're saying about drafting about picking up a wide receiver free agency. I just don't think that's on there. I think that's move 3. I think there's other moves above that. And by the time they get to move 3, if that's where the wide receiver is at on their priority list for free agents, all those other good ones is gone already. They're not going to wait around. They're not going to wait around to get paid. Robbie Anderson's not going to wait around to get paid. He's going to take the –
With that being said, I mean, don't mean to cut you off there, but Robbie Anderson could be gone. They could do both. They could sign somebody and then still go get Ruggs. It could It could be a low end guy. That's why I said it could be a question mark move. It doesn't have to be the top guy. To me, the best fit for me is Roddy Anderson. Obviously, Roddy.
Correct me if I'm wrong, though. If you got Anderson and then you still took Ruggs or somebody in the first, then that means you're cutting either Alshon or Deshaun. Like, you know what I'm saying? Then we're fitting things in that, you know what I'm saying? Where do we're all
going
fit?
from one extreme of having slow wide receivers and no speed now to having abundance of speed. You want to blend a combination of both.
I'm not even talking about speed. I'm just talking about I don't see – because then you look at all the money you're investing into one position. Then you're investing Alshon money, Deshaun money, Robbie Anderson money, and then a first-round talent money into one position.
Yeah.
But I think you're okay with that this year because you've got Alshon and Deshaun will fall off. That short-term
But then
hit.
Carson's contract kicks in.
but then
that's the problem.
The money doesn't fit because you have to completely rebuild your defense. We have to rebuild our defense.
Yeah.
We cannot value.
And the safety position is a whole –
Yes.
that's a whole nother –
So let's circle it back real quick. Nice. Let's circle it back. Let's go back to where we were square one in this half. Cornerback, Jalen Mills. Gone. Right? I say gone.
Gone.
I say gone because they're going to go 2 guys in the
So
draft.
you say gone. We all know Ronald Darby.
Gone.
Yeah, we all know that he's gone. Roddy McLeod.
Gone.
Gone.
It's defense is going to be bad next year. It's going to be bad. I'm just telling you. It's going to be really bad.
I think you have to get rid of him. He wasn't 2017-18 Roddy McLeod this past season.
Nope.
You get rid of him. Gone. Jenkins.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you guys. I was going to say, and Fam
Is
and
he
Hope
under
chime in on this.
contract?
He's under
Yeah, but he's
contract,
not
but
gonna
he has
play.
said
He's not
he
gonna play.
won't play unless he gets an extension.
So let me ask you this, Fam. People at home and people in here. Who is more likely to go? If you knew one of them was gone, who are you putting, gun to head, who are you saying?
Between
Alshon or Malcolm?
Who's gone?
who's
Yeah.
gone?
Malcolm.
I agree.
It'd be Malcolm.
Yeah.
He's easier to trade.
It's easier to get rid of his contract.
If they say if he says I'm not going to play because
But
you don't extend
it
me.
makes more sense to keep Malcolm.
Yes, of
To
course.
me, yeah. I think,
I'm moving
and
a linebacker.
I said this. I'll say it on air now, and I said this before, while we're on break. I think they figure out a way to extend Malcolm. I think he's way too valuable. I think his durability is bar none, and I think he's one of the leaders that they want. They want him to help transition some of the younger guys they will be acquiring. I think that with Bradham being gone now, and I think with Camus, I think Camus gone.
Doug doesn't trust him with the concussion.
Yeah, I
thing.
think he's
that was
gone.
a bridge. Yeah.
That leaves our linebacker core very, very thin. Very thin.
Edwards.
Because we know that
You got TJ and
TJ is just a run stopping. He's not a 3-down linebacker. We all know and feel the same way about Nate Gary, and there's no one else. So I think they figure out a way to re-sign or to extend Malcolm, and I personally think they bring in a free agent safety, maybe Anthony Harris, which would be who? Oh boy, Anthony Harris, or they draft someone.
Okay.
And I think they play Malcolm a lot as a linebacker, almost primarily. I think Malcolm's going to help transition the safeties, but I think that you're going to see him be in that linebacker spot as that coverage linebacker, almost primarily. I think he does it a lot now as a third safety in the box, but I think that they don't prioritize the linebacking core too much.
Right.
Where I think they'll sign a huge guy. I think they will add players. I think they will add upgrades. Like I like Devondre Campbell, the former Falcon. I think they'll add solid guys, and I think they'll draft a linebacker in like one of the middle to late rounds. They will add talent, but I think Malcolm's spot on the defense now is going to be at linebacker. They won't say he's a linebacker. They'll say he's still a safety, but they're going to deploy him as a linebacker. I think that's his
So-
future.
What about Corey Littleton?
I'd like yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'll give you 2 names. Well, give me 3 names. So you move Malcolm down to linebacker. Give him a linebacker title. Go sign Anthony. Go get Jimmy Ward. Free
He
safety.
can't
strong.
stay healthy.
True.
That's the thing.
Welcome to
Jimmy
the club.
Ward is decent, but he can't stay healthy.
So I'm going to
This
give you a name
issue.
as far as linebacker. Bring back Kendricks. He's a free agent.
Michael Kendricks.
Yep.
What's
I don't
his-
think they'll retread.
But, and then
I
what's the,
don't
what's the
think
deal
he'll
with
reach
the
We don't know yet.
Stuff.
We don't know yet. No one.
So you also got Shaq Barrett.
He's not leaving there.
No, he's Sean Lee's too old. Corey Littleton is an inside linebacker. He's an unrestricted free agent. Got Darren Lee, fast guy. Remember coming out of Ohio
Yes, I
State, was
remember.
drafted by New York.
What about the guy from the Falcons?
Devondre Campbell.
Campbell.
Right?
No.
That's what I said.
No.
You're talking
that
about
wrong?
the edge. That's a sleeper.
Tack
Yeah.
McKinley, the edge.
No.
He's not a linebacker.
No. He's talking about Vic Beasley.
Oh, Vic Beasley. Sorry, I said the wrong edge.
Yep.
Yeah.
As far as defensive line help,
Yeah.
that's
he'd be defensive end.
that's a sleeper. That's
That's a
a sleeper. That's
another
a value.
guy.
Yep.
You could be like, okay, change of scenery.
Also, I don't know if they're because I don't think they 100% are sold on Barnett yet. They're talking about
Right.
and what his option year is coming up this year.
Right.
they have to decide on it this year for next year.
Now
I don't think like Barnett. I will not lose sleep if they move on from him. I will
Yeah.
say after this year. The other one, hold on real quick. Where is it?
Mario Addison as well, out of
Mario
Carolina.
Addison.
Yep.
Neville Hewitt. Neville Hewitt
just
is
saw
another
that name.
linebacker. Yeah, another linebacker I'd like.
Out of New York.
Yes.
Okay. What about maybe an older guy? Bentley AJ Klein out of New Orleans.
Little too old for my taste.
What
but
is
he's
going?
not
There's
bad.
a lot of New England Patriots names on this list. Kyle Van Noy.
Yep. Well, you know the Patriots. They like to hang on to DBs. Not when it comes to D line and linebackers, they rotate those guys.
Bill has
Unless
a
you're a
question
big,
for you, by the way.
unless you're a big name.
Well, they got rid of a bunch of big names before.
I'm talking about like a Mayo, like a Ninkovich until this past year.
They moved on from Richard Seymour years ago. I wouldn't.
But there
say,
was a
I
ton of
wouldn't
other
say-
there was a lot of other stuff there.
No,
though.
yeah, I just don't think it being a big name on the front seven is guarantees that Bill's keeping.
So
I think Bill has shown that the irreplaceable players are in the secondary, not the front seven.
pose you a question. Since we kind of hit every position
Yeah,
pretty much.
yeah. Wait, kicker. I'm just kidding.
Go ahead,
I'm just
Pete.
kidding.
As I was.
He's locked in for 5 years. So.
Where do you see? And I'm really interested. I do this for you because you're not as vested as we are. But with that 50 mil, where do you see the Eagles making the biggest splash?
Defense.
It
No.
has to be defense.
I want more specific.
So, like, which
Line.
position?
Line.
Okay.
Line.
It's probably going to be line because that's Howie's go-to. And there's I mean, you're looking at right now, you went from a front 8, now you have like a front 5.
Yep.
Or like a 4.5, kind of. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
With Schwartz still being there and still going with the front 8, Schwartz is going to need the D-line. I mean, D-line, you could argue D-line. I'm not even going to say that because that sounds idiotic. I'm not even going to say that. I was gonna say that maybe D-line's more important than secondary because even having D-line's going to help the secondary, but no, because you have like 1.5 guys right there in the secondary right now. It has to be D-line because there's so much turnover everywhere else.
Okay.
They don't invest linebacker. They don't invest in linebackers.
Right.
And secondary, I feel like they're either going to go young or maybe towards one flashy guy and all young.
Yeah.
Kevon.
Edge.
So
I'll tell you what it's not going to be. It's not going to be wide receiver.
here's the issue: is
Yeah, I don't think.
do you think they go young or do they go
Answer
big
my
name?
question first, please, and then you can ask your question.
I'm going to, but I'm trying to read. I'm looking through.
No,
You will answer it now.
And the Mnemone.
You get this.
If you're asking me the biggest splash, I think
Yeah.
it's definitely going to be defense.
Okay.
But my
Specific.
Specific.
well, that's what I'm trying to figure out there because there's a couple of names. You know, you look at and there's Everson Griffin, is a club option for Minnesota who can't pay him because they've got negative $11 million, but he's 32.
Nope.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
he's
out.
old.
Goodbye.
Nope. Where I'm not, if I'm Howie, you're talking to me, your age. I'm not interested. Anybody you have that's over the age of 28.
Yeah.
Ooh, you're going 28. Ooh.
I might even go 27, 26.
Bill's taking shots at you, by the way.
Who?
You.
Of course.
He says, question for Chucks. Are we playing practice squad next year? You just cut 20-plus guys.
I know. Yeah,
What about
to
Ugba?
to Bill's point, and I will
Cleveland?
say, like,
Emmanuel Ogba?
Bill-
It's Ogba.
I
it's,
do
he's
tend
with the
to get
Chiefs.
a little aggressive with the cuts, and I acknowledge that. So I am
But
not
yes.
saying I am 100% like going to be right on all these cuts. I
thought he
think they
signed
will
there.
be cuts that I say they should cut, and they'll
I'll be
end up
interested in
staying.
And Chris Jones.
I'm
That's too.
I'm
some
aggressive
bucks.
on the they should get rid of
But
them, and
they're
so-
going to keep
yeah,
one.
that's
Isn't
a
that what
valid
happens
point.
in years like this, though? You see
He's
a lot
a-
of
he's a
turnover.
I mean, yeah,
Who?
there are going to be
Jones.
turnover. There's going to be
They're
turnover.
going to keep him
There's like two different conversations.
Yeah, I
and
know what that- I
move
know
because
what
they
it's
move him around. He's listed at end.
Who? Chris Jones.
Yeah, they're going to
It's
keep
gonna
him.
cost too much.
Who?
Chris Jones.
To the Chiefs?
Oh, I'm looking from the Eagles.
Because they're going to keep him. You can get the younger Ugba. however
Oh
you
yeah,
pronounce it.
Emmanuel Ogba. Yeah,
Yeah.
Ogba. Yeah.
That I think that's a
Ugba?
good name
Mhm.
they go after.
I just saw Vic Beasley's
Ogba?
projected at market value is around $7 million a year. I would do that in a heartbeat. I would take a look at Ugba as well. Griffin is it Griffin? It's Griffin. Right?
Griffin.
Everson
I'm
Griffin.
putting Griffin.
We're butchering names left and right.
Totally messed him up.
Why are they going to be so hard?
He would be a fit for a team that's closer. That's closer because what the Eagles are trying to do, they're trying to do the two things. They're trying to be competitive, but they're also trying to build for the future because they tried to go all in too many times
Yeah.
and didn't really keep an eye to developing players. Their player development for the last 2 or 3 years or even longer has been severely lacking. And now they're it's hard to try to do that and have that as a strategy and still try to win. It helps when you have, in my mind, a top 10 quarterback in the league. When you have that, he'll always keep you in some games. But it's just it's a lot. I definitely think it's going to be defense related, even because we saw the most coaching changes on the offensive side of the ball and at positions that have influence, which tells me they may see something here and they're going to really try to maximize what they have on the
Yeah.
offensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
There's only one player on the defense. Hello, how are you?
Hi.
Hello, I'm here. There's only one
Turn
player.
your own mic on.
Yes, there's only one player on the offensive side of the ball that would change this debate. Like, it's literally going to be defense except for one player, and that's Amari Cooper.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only guy
Yep.
that would fall under the offensive category of, like, okay, that's a flashy move. Because, like, Robbie
But
Anderson,
what would you, at that point,
and I don't touch Amari Cooper.
right? But
I don't touch him.
If Howie, for some reason, went that route, that must mean you have a trade partner for Alshon or Deshaun.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
That means, because there's no way
Yeah.
that those three are on the same
Yeah.
roster.
Yeah. Good
Yeah.
point.
And that also means you're not drafting somebody for the first 2 rounds.
Definitely not a wide receiver.
No.
Definitely not a wide receiver.
And Kevin's
I
giving me
think
the
it-
eyes saying, like, oh, that's what I said. But you never said Amari Cooper.
I don't think they go after Amari.
No, I don't think
Smart man.
I think he
Maybe
ends
the
up.
smartest thing you said all night.
I think he stays with Dallas.
I'd say so.
You think he
How?
stays with Dallas?
How?
I don't think so.
No.
I think there's more of a chance of Dallas keeping Byron Jones than it is Amari.
Denver.
Okay. I'll give you a name out of Denver. Their safety,
Which one?
Simmons.
Okay. Yeah.
I would take
Trevor
Justin
Simmons.
because there's another safety that's projected to go in the first round, but I think his name is Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no,
Right
they.
there.
Some
Isn't
people
that-
have him as linebacker. Some people as a safety. He's like the hybrid guy.
He's a hybrid.
Yeah.
Clemson, right?
Yes. Yes.
No.
No.
LSU.
LSU, yeah.
Sorry.
Who am I
LSU.
thinking? Is there another Simmons from Clemson? He's like a D end.
I haven't
haven't
studied
checked.
line yet, so I don't know.
Go ahead.
See, here's the issue with Dallas is it's not like they don't have money to go out and sign everyone that they've got.
They don't know where to put it.
They're fifth as far as open cap right now. It's 77.
But
Million.
they haven't signed Dak yet.
There's just
Right, but
that's
so
that's the problem.
So if you
Problem.
if you tag Dak, go
tag
sign.
does but that money goes towards your cap. So what's going to be the tag hit for a quarterback this year? 30?
I don't think it's that high yet.
Dank Burrito says he is from Clemson, by the way.
But I'm saying
Isaiah Simmons?
I think so.
Okay, maybe I was wrong. Sorry.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
if you tag him this year, I don't think that they get anything done too long term with Amari. But I think they make it work to have them both.
I don't know. It's tough to see. You could be right, but it's tough for me to see that.
Because there's no way, to me, if I'm going to sign a quarterback like Dak, whether it be long term or whether it be tagged, I'm not going to give him a number one. If I'm going to eventually put money into him, Amari works so well there with him. I can't see them not keeping him.
I get what you're saying.
I can't
get
see
what
them
you're saying.
even saying, "Oh, here's 35 to 40 million," but oh, by the way, because you're stingy with that money, now I can't give you a receiver, even though I have the cap money to do it. I'm just not going to.
Yeah, I hear
So
what
the
you're saying.
QB franchise tag for this year is 26,895,000. So 27 mil.
Apparently, Prescott is saying that if he gets
wants-
franchise tag, he's not playing.
Yeah, he's not.
He doesn't have to if they
Choose the
sign
sign.
Brady.
All right. On
There-
that note,
there it is.
Is it no huddle time yet?
Yes.
Yeah,
3 minutes
no,
left,
Let's
yes.
go.
So, no huddle. Aaron Gordon should have won a dunk contest and ended the All-Star game on a free throw. Was dumb as hell. I liked the 157. Made the game competitive. NBA All-Star Saturday night is back.
I completely disagree. Completely disagree.
What part?
The first part. Aaron Gordon should not have
Okay,
won.
whatever.
And it's based off, and we talked about this pre-show, it should have never gotten to the Taco Fall dunk.
Okay.
Listen, do I agree the judges are idiots? Yes. Do I wonder what the Black Panther has to do with basketball? Yes, I wonder. I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? Do I think and know that Dwayne Wade completely
Botched it.
yes and completely sold it for Jones Jr.? Yes, absolutely. With that being said, though, Aaron Gordon shot himself in the foot.
Yeah.
He did the same dunks, and I'm not saying Derrick Jones Jr. didn't in a couple times. Aaron Gordon jumped over Chance the Rapper 3 times, all right? 2, he missed a couple times on the dunks. Derrick Jones Jr. on all of his dunks did not miss once. First try. So there's points with that. 3.
Shout out to Nate Robinson.
Don't even get me started with that one. He should have never, if he was going to Taco Fall, he should have had that in the first 4 dunks.
Yeah.
If he would have done the windmill dunk where Markel Fultz missed the backboard, if he would have done that, it would have never gotten to extras. Ever. It would have never done it. Derrick Jones Jr., listen, did he have the best dunk of the night? No. Aaron Gordon's dunk with Markel Fultz was maybe the best dunk of all time compared to, his other dunk in 2016.
Yeah.
So don't get me wrong. If it was based off of who has the best dunk out of the night, Aaron Gordon should have won it. But given the timing of the competition, where they were at, he put himself in that situation. And also, I don't like how he was bitching and moaning about, oh, no, I did my dunk. You know, and he was saying, no. You didn't win any. Like, don't be petty now.
Yeah.
So, like, I was already
get that,
already rooting against him because he was like, oh, I already took off the shoes. Put the shoes back on. You're a basketball player. How many shoes do you have? You know what I'm saying? So,
God.
I like
listen.
his determination, though. He said he's done with the dunk contest. Now he's going to try to win the 3-point. But the problem, they gave out too many 50s way too early. There was no escalator.
But that's been their history, though.
Yeah.
Well, they shot
that's-
themselves in the foot. Like, there's
that's-
nothing wrong with giving them 41. Nothing wrong with
Yeah,
that.
especially
If it's
in the
not good,
first
it's not
round.
good. Like, Dwight Howard's 46. Are you kidding me? It was a 36. Stop it.
Yeah, that's what, and I said to you guys pre-show, I'm going to say it on air, like, I haven't watched a dunk contest in years because One, there's no star names, big names, and there's no draw to it. Like if the big name stars are not in it, like you're not, it loses appeal, a lot of appeal. Two, the whole scoring system with the judges is so awfully done. Like you have mediocre dunks that are getting 9s and 10s from judges, and then when you have an actual out of this world dunk, they're going to get the same score because all the judges want to be generous with their scoring. Like it's a horrible system, and like it's just, to me, I stopped watching after the Iggy and Nate Robinson debacle. After that, that's when I was like, I'm done with the dunk contest. So I couldn't care less about what they do unless you start to give me names like Ben Simmons and LeBron James once.
Or Zion or Ja.
Zion.
Ja tweeted that he's not doing it. He's not touching
Yeah,
it.
if you
Which
give
is
me
a shame.
if you give me big names, I will be there.
If
But
you put
unless
Zion
that,
and Ja in a
I'm done.
dunk contest, Ja will win because the smaller guy. Like
Yeah.
all those players you just named, star power, no creativity whatsoever.
Zion's knees might friggin' explode. Mid dunk.
They literally go like his legs.
Yeah, I'm
I
afraid
don't
for
know.
that kid.
Listen,
Man.
dog, get your money now, pimp.
Yeah,
Get your money now.
he's a 4-year career.
he's one hell of a player, but
4-year
I don't feel good about it.
So
man.
for you, Kevon, anything in no huddle?
No huddle.
Yeah, my big thing, this past weekend we had a Corey Anderson getting knocked out against the Polish Nightmare. Can't pronounce his last name, so I'm not even going to try. But it's going to get real interesting in the UFC in the light heavyweight division because now you have a card a couple weeks ago where John Jones wins. Didn't think he should have.
Right.
Now he's supposed to defend against Blankovic, who technically shouldn't get a shot because Reyes deserves to be there again. So should be interesting to see how that falls out. See how far back Corey Anderson falls, and local guy. I hope he doesn't fall back too far. Hopefully he comes back in and
Right.
makes another run. But unfortunately, I don't see that happening. But regardless, I just hope somebody other than John Jones ends with this year with the belt. Enough's enough for me.
Yeah.
My one no huddle. A certain player just got an extension with the Atlanta Falcons. His name
Oh my! Are you real?
is Younghoe Koo. And if you remember months ago when I said he's coming back with a vengeance, Kevin, you even agreed with
I
me.
wanted it.
You wanted him.
They stole him off our practice squad, and we had to sign like
The
6
Asian
kickers.
sensation of a leg is back, and he is taking the league by storm, the kicking league by storm. Congrats to my Asian brethren. You are in the league. You got that contract. What a turnaround for his career. He's about to. This is the beginning of the Hall of Fame, guys. Let's go.
Wow.
Let's go.
This is the inside of my brain right now.
I didn't know they let kickers in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, more than Anderson.
You
I
watch.
didn't know they were people.
You watch. Anyways, guys, great show. Good job. We had another week of more yelling at Kev. It's like a weekly occurrence.
He always has.
I
his
look
mo-
forward
he has
to
his
it every
moments.
week.
There was more
I'm glad.
smart moments. There
You
was
don't have
more,
a damn choice.
There was more tolerable moments this week.
Yeah,
What happened
it
last
wasn't
week?
nearly as bad.
I feel like your
I
best
wasn't here the second half.
True.
You were decent.
Yeah.
You were decent the first half.
Yeah.
your best of clip is in the first 5 seconds of the show. By the way, I'm telling you, it is.
Oh yeah, the
Probably.
fans part. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's going there.
And listen,
I'm a
Saturday,
starter.
Fury versus Wilder too. Wilder can't box. I would still say that if he was standing here in my face, you could just throw a hell lot of punches, and if you connect with one, like you said, you only need to be good for 1 second.
But he said he can knock out Tyson in his prime.
No. If he
I
hit him in
agree.
the back of the head, maybe. I know if Tyson get up to him, it's
I
gonna
don't
be
follow
a
boxing.
real Superman punch out.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, enjoy that fight. Everyone, thank you. Thank you for tuning in again this week on Another Birds of a Feather. Next week, we will hopefully have Chrome back, and we will be talking about the NFL Combine a little bit. We got draft talk coming up, guys. We got more free agency talk. We'll see what other cuts the Eagles do in a week, and then that we will discuss, and we'll get into more free agency talk as that approaches in March. So, guys, for Kev,
Check
Pete?
in next week for the fan club update.
Yes, the fan club update.
XFL, baby.
Brodo on the ones
XFL.
and twos. Chucks. The second half of the show was brought to you by Dr. Paul Bidell, Specialized Physical Therapy LLC. Find them in Burlington, Cherry Hill, and Princeton. SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com. And the best tailgating game in the business, Play QB54. Find it at playqb54shop.com/discount/no notes. Use the promo code no notes and get 20% off. We will see you guys next week. Make sure you guys have a fix tomorrow.
Big show tomorrow.
Big show tomorrow.
Big show.
It's our bracket show.
Hey!
We're going to be going over the most hated Philadelphia sports figures since the year 2000. We're going to be going all throughout the bracket.
Nice.
I'll bring you guys in some brackets
Nice.
next week. 6 to 8 p.m.
So make
tomorrow.
make sure you guys tune in for that and AM in the PM and the other list of shows. Make sure you tune in to download the podcast, iTunes, Spotify,
Spreaker.
wherever you
Spreaker.
Spreaker,
Google Play.
Google Play.
Google Play, or wherever you download your podcast. So until next week, guys, we will see you. Fly, Eagles, fly.